Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for hanging out with us today. We have a nice, really long watch along for the U.S. men's national team and their quarterfinal against Costa Rica, the Ticos. We're going to break down that game, but we wanted to send our condolences to Jesse Marsh in Canada. They got knocked. These guys were talking trash before the show.
Are you kidding me? Well, how could you go there? Jimmy, that's too soon.
I'm just kidding. Is it too soon? I'm just kidding. No. Actually, I'll say this. I wanted to play Canada in the semifinal, so I'm a little disappointed that Guatemala beat them in penalties. Welcome into the show. Call it what you want. Average to good. It's what we do. I'm Jimmy Conrad alongside Charlie Davis and Tony Miala. And we got to take a look at the starting 11 because there's 3 changes for the U.S. ahead of Costa Rica. We got plenty of time to talk about the Canada game. Panama lost as well. If you didn't see that, they lost in pens to Honduras. So Honduras is through. Guatemala is through to the semifinals. First time ever Guatemala has gotten to the semifinals in the modern era of the Gold Cup. So that's awesome. And that's a big deal. But let's get to the starting 11 because the game's about to kick off and we want to give some context to our team before we talk about the other ones. We made 3 changes from the Haiti game. We have Quinn Sullivan out. Jack McGlynn is out. Malik Tillman is, well, he started the last one. Diego Luna comes back into the team. De La Torre, Adams, and Berhalter comes into midfield. So Luca De La Torre probably a little bit higher up the field. And Max Arfston comes in for John Tolkin. We actually predicted this. I should say we, but it was more Ivis and Dez and the crew behind the scenes that did that. Well played. We never give them their flowers. So let's just give them their flowers right now. Big Tones, coming to you. How are you feeling about the starting 11?
Yeah, good. I think we said before the last game, right? We would have a real idea of who Pochettino thinks his best team is in this group, and here it is. This is knockout football, and he's told us that De La Torre, Berhalter, and Adams. I think that's where the question marks were, right? In that part of the field, where Arston Tolkien thing was Tolkien growing into the fitness part of it, but Arston, I think we all were pretty much on that. So.
Tony, everybody except Ivis. Ivis was like, it's got to be Tolkien. He's a Jersey boy. The Jersey guys always play.
Yeah, he's biased though. He's biased. Okay, really quick. 3 players didn't dress. Chris Brady, not a big surprise there, 3rd goalkeeper. Johnny Cardoso didn't dress. Apparently didn't train, or he did light training. I know he's in the middle of a transfer, so that might have something to do with it. And then obviously Haji Wright nursing an injury. So those are the 3 players that did not dress. Chuck, your thoughts on this starting 11? You feeling good about it?
Yeah, I feel really good about it. I think what it came down to is Sebastian Berhalter absolutely earned his spot in the starting 11 with his performances. You saw a dip when he was out of the team, basically on what he provides, which is I think he makes great tackles. He's great at anticipating plays, but also in possession, he offers angles. He's an outlet, but he's not trying to make the game by any means, but he's putting himself in a good position to move the game forward. And I think that's massive for this current team. And then, I think we knew De La Torre was side to side. And for me, we need to see more of. We know he's good in possession. He's one of those guys who likes to connect, but he's never really a threat. Mm-hmm. But I think Pochettino goes, you know what? I have Luna. I have Tillman. These are my 2 best wingers. I don't even have wingers. So to get the best collection of players, I feel that this is my strongest lineup. So I'm good with it. We basically said this was going to be the starting 11. I think De La Torre was the only one we were unsure of.
Right. And Max Arfston is going to provide you that width out wide left. So that'll allow Diego Luna and or Tillman, whoever sets up there, to come inside and create that space for him to occupy. We haven't seen as much from Freeman, where maybe they'll let him go free and take off the handcuffs a little bit. Maybe that's by design. Maybe that's his choice, just trying to play conservative, sticking together and letting Arfston really be the one that drives that forward, and they can create numerical advantages from central outlets. I am very curious to see the partnership between Adams and Berhalter, and then ultimately where Chuck was touching upon, where does De La Torre set up, and how does he fit to make sure that I guess my concern is if De La Torre is playing that high, that him and Diego Luna aren't occupying the same areas or trying to find the ball in the same spot, because obviously that'll slow down our attacks, Tones.
Yeah, I think he's going to be in that, just like we had it, right, in that 10 role. Could they put him wide? I don't know. We don't have enough speed out there anyway, and he's not a guy that's going to blow by you. So I would imagine that it's Luna on the left, Tillman on the right, as we had it up there. And then he kind of pulling the strings in that 10 position. Also would think there's some rotation as well, right, in there. And then can you, that relationship on the left-hand side with Arston and Diego Luna, how much does Arston have the room to get forward? And the other one, we've said a couple games now, I think it's by design, Jimmy, that Alex Freeman's not getting forward all that much, right? I think it's that whole 3-back system that we talked about, sort of almost setting everything up for when Anthony Robinson is back, that he's the guy on the left-hand side that gets forward. And we saw Joe Scally do this, I don't know, 4 or 6 games, whatever it was. He did it a bunch of times.
All right, so
Jimmy, I wanted to address a question from the chat.
Ooh, go on, chat.
They asked if the yellow card accumulation is over, and it's not over until after this match, so you could miss the semifinal.
We have 3 players. We have Luna, Adams, and Berhalter are all on 1 yellow card.
So I think it's important to note, and you get past this phase, you don't have to worry about a yellow card to miss out on a final, which is great, but it's also. It just feels rough if you have to miss the semifinal getting a yellow here.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking. We've seen it in multiple competitions where it just feels a little unfair. I mean, if you get like 3 in a row in 3 straight games, yeah, okay, fine. But if you get 2 over the course of like 5 games, it feels pretty ridiculous. All right, on this day, 75 years ago, a little fun fact for everybody: the U.S. men's national team stunned the 3 Lions of England at the 1950 World Cup. Haitian-born Joe Gations scored the game's only goal.
You assisted, Jimmy. Well done.
I did. That's a little-known additional fun fact. I gave the assist to Gations on that one, and it was a hell of a time. I mean, probably our most famous victory. I didn't know it at the time, but it turned out that's one of our most famous victories. So pretty cool, and it's always nice to get a W over the 3 Lions.
Have we lost to England since in the World Cup?
We have not ever lost to England.
Curious.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. I absolutely appreciate that. All right. I don't know if we have a graphic for Costa Rica's starting 11, but they look like they're going to set up in a 5-3-2. And for me, I don't know, you guys can maybe highlight some other ones. Keylor Navas is obviously number 1. I know they gave up, 3 goals to Suriname and a goal to the Dominican Republic, and he needed to stand on his head with like 11 saves against Mexico in the last group stage game. But he could have one of those performances, and that would be a little disappointing for us, obviously. But another player, Josimar Alcacer, scored the winner against Suriname, scored the winner against Dominican Republic. He's going to get the start today for sure. Ugalde, who has scored 3 penalty kick goals so far in this tournament, he's out due to yellow card accumulation. Mora is another player that they rely upon in different ways. He's out due to yellow card accumulation. And big opportunity for us to maybe take advantage of a weekend. I'm putting air quotes around weekend, because as we've seen in these other 2 quarterfinals, Honduras beat Panama, even though Panama created more chances, were the better team. Canada, when they had 11 players, were better than Guatemala, but Guatemala found a way to get through. There's no guarantees in CONCACAF, so we can say all these names, but you still have to go out there and fight and make plays on both sides of the ball to make it happen.
Tony, I want to hear your take on Guatemala's goalkeeper, Navarro. I thought he was absolutely world-class distribution. I mean, what a weapon. The way he was able to hit those side volleys and put them into the channel.
Tony Miola-esque, to be honest.
He was almost got one in the end, too, right? He almost sprung someone in like the 93rd minute, and the ball bounced in the box, and the guy almost spun 2 defenders.
He almost got out,
Yeah, dangerous. And then, of course, he made the one big play where you think, okay, they're going to score next, but that's the position we can be in. Having said that, I don't know much about Matt Freese. I mean, I looked up the stats a little bit earlier, but I don't have any penalty kick shootouts with Matt Freese to really digest. So if we get in that position,
I think that's when you got Turner in. Turner.
Maybe you do. That's kind of why I'm bringing it up. But yeah,
Turner's big big in PKs.
Yeah, right. And maybe that's part of the plan. So something to think about, moving forward.
Okay, so what do we say prediction-wise? We want to hear from the chat as well. What are your predictions for this game? I do think there's some lessons to be learned. I'd be really surprised if Mauricio Pochettino and his coaching staff wasn't reminding the players before they went out onto the field that, hey, look it. Panama got upset. Canada got upset. Let's not be the next team that gets upset. Let's go out there and do our jobs on both sides of the ball. So with that in mind, I expect a very professional performance. And listen, we've only given up 1 goal. And that was by our own doing. Matt Freese and Tim Reen's back pass, and Matt Freese didn't do well enough with it. And hit the hit. And listen, let's be honest, Haiti scored a really good goal when they took advantage of it. But that's the only goal we've given up, and I feel like we've been pretty solid on that side of the ball. I'm going to say 2-0. I'm going to say 2-0. The U.S. men's national team. Chuck, what are you saying?
I believe I said 2-1 earlier when we made.
Yeah. I didn't know if you changed your mind though. Now you see the starting 11 right before kickoff. Nothing changes.
I feel pretty good with what the Pochettino put out there, but again, Costa Rica is a better version of Guatemala, and Keylor Navas is a better version of Navarro. So that's the test. And if Guatemala can do it, and we've seen it in Copa America
4-2, got a 4-2
with Panama, right? So Timothy Weah gets the red card, and Panama was in kind of doing the same type of antics that Guatemala was up to. You got to use physicality. In some cases, Jimmy, your dark arts. You got to be the dark arts pro.
You always got to get into the dark arts. This is CONCACAF, baby. I mean, that you got to live and breathe. It's got to be in your DNA, the dark arts. So yes, we're in agreement, Chuck. How about you, Jones?
The dark arts finds you in CONCACAF. It comes to you. You don't have to go to the dark arts. It just comes to you.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, I said 2. I think I said 2-1 in penalty kick shootout. Yeah. So I'm going to stick with it. Yeah.
All right. So we all got W's here for the U.S. I don't want to go into penalties. We can see what happens with the other opponents that have faced each other in the quarterfinals. All right, we're going to take a little stop down here so we can get on the Golazo Network as well, and then kickoff will be right after that. So keep it right here. Welcome.
Whoa, that was the fact.
Whoa! Hey, we're back again.
I don't know what. Hey, Jimmy.
I don't know what happened.
I think Des tried to play me too. He said, you know what? You got games? I got games too.
We got games. That's why we're on the Golazo Network, everybody. Welcome in to Call It What You Want, your favorite average to good podcast now on the Golazo Network. You get average to good everywhere, which is pretty awesome. And we appreciate you. If you want to watch it somewhere else, you can also go to the Golazo America YouTube channel and watch it there. That we can get in on the chat and be part of the conversation. But we welcome everybody that's hanging out with us today for the U.S. men's national team versus Costa Rica in the quarterfinals of the Gold Cup. I'm Jimmy Conrad alongside Charlie Davies and Tony Miola. And we are buzzing for this one. Knockout round time. We won all 3 of our group games. Okay, group stage games, no problem. We only gave up 1 goal. No problem. And it was a goal that we self-destructed on. And all the chances ultimately that I thought we gave up in the group stages were ones where we needed to do better. It wasn't necessarily the opponent really stretching us in any particular way. Costa Rica is going to stretch us, though. They're going to be coming in hot. They're going to be physical. And we have to be able to match that and then obviously let our quality show through on that. Chuck, I love your energy right now. How are you feeling about this one right before kickoff?
Could you tell my energy is high? I'm excited for this game. I'm ready to go. I think my excitement level has considerably risen because of what we just saw with Guatemala and Canada. And I was on the edge of my seat because I thought to myself, man, I see how this game's going. And right when Schaffelberg got the red card, I said, uh-oh, this could be big trouble. This could be big trouble. And Guatemala was pushing, but not. And then you start to see around the 75th minute, maybe, it really started to get going. They started to believe. And then it carried on into PKs. I love when teams make history. And a team like Guatemala, who's been around forever, hey, we both been kicked by countless Guatemalans. Carlos Ruiz, Tony, I know you probably had a couple of goals by El Pescadito, So, hey, it just leads us right into this game. And I'm excited for the guys. We need a big performance.
Yeah, I as well. Just give everybody some context in case you didn't see that score. Canada was up 1-0 over Guatemala. They got a red card or 2 yellows for Jacob Schaffelberg, also known as the Canadian Messi. He goes out, and then Guatemala took that halftime and really changed their tactics to take advantage, got a goal back and won in penalties, and now they're into the semifinals of the Gold Cup for the first time in their history. It's a pretty big deal, and really excited for all of our friends that are from Guatemala. All right, Tones. I'm seeing the players now, hands over their hearts, doing the national anthem. You had 2-1 as your prediction. I know you're sticking with that. How do you expect the first 15, 20 minutes of this game to go?
Yeah, I would expect it to be really physical. If you watch Costa Rica in this tournament, and if you know El Piol and the way his teams play, man, they get into you. They want to counterattack you right away. Transitions are going to be really, really important in the first portion of this game. And, of course, like any of these games, right, the last thing you want to do is give up something early in a game, right? If you get something, great. But if you have to start to find your rhythm. And the team that generally finds their rhythm first in these type of knockout situations is sometimes it's obviously a massive advantage, and sometimes you see that team come out victorious because of course we saw Canada, it changed with the red card, but you need to get some comfort in this game, and I don't think it's going to be comfortable in the first 15 minutes. You just got to find it. Seeing Greg Berhalter here with his family, which is really, really cool that he's in the stadium right now and supporting Sebastian Berhalter.
Yeah, I do want to say that let's do the starting 11. Actually, that's where I wanted to go. They made 3 changes from our last game against Haiti, and Max Arson's going to come in for John Tolkien at the left back spot. Matt Freese will be in goal. Okay, and you have Freeman on the right. You have Tim Ream and Richards in the back line, and really the only change in the back line has been Tolkien and or Arfston, and Arfston will be his third start out of 4 games. And then in midfield, you have Sebastian Berhalter, as Tony just said. We saw his dad, Greg Berhalter, former USMNT national team coach, in the stands. Obviously thrilled to see his son out there partnering with Tyler Adams, and Luca De La Torre will be the third member of midfield. Okay, then you have Tillman and Luna on either side, though maybe De La Torre sets up somewhere else, and then Ajiman up top. So those are with 3 changes from Haiti. Quinn Sullivan drops out, John Tolkien comes out, and then I'm forgetting somebody, but anyway, that's the starting 11. I can't think of his name right now. I've got a lot of names in my head right now, Chuck.
Well done.
I know, I absolutely crushed it right there. But with those changes, are you happy with what you're seeing, Chuck, in terms of how this team can move, especially in midfield? I know we talked about it a little bit before we got on the Golasso Network, but how do you think that's going to work when you actually have 3 legitimate guys that can make that final pass, and Berhalter, 4 guys actually, Tillman, Diego Luna, and De La Torre?
Yeah, I really like this lineup. I think we knew Matt Freese is the goalie for the tournament, and he's done well outside of that mistake, which I think he made up. He rebounded well from, as Tony always likes to see how the reaction is from a player who makes a big mistake like that. Tyler Adams back in the middle. I think it's nice that he's paired with Sebastian Berhalter, a player who's earned his starting spot in this competition. I think he's played really well. We have Freeman and Arfsson. I hope they're going to be providing width in this match, similar to how a Destin and Anthony Robinson would. I think it was good that they got their feet wet in terms of their international game, the style of this team, the tendencies of these players within this team, and now be free flowing in the attacking third, make good runs, get involved. I think that's going to open up the team and allow Diego Luna to come inside and Malik Tillman and come inside and support Patrick Ajiman with a Luca Del Torre. So I'm excited. I think this is the best team that is available in this Gold Cup.
Now, here's a funny projection, I guess, because we're still a year out from the World Cup next summer, obviously. But given the trust that Mauricio Pochettino, the coach of the U.S., has given to Tim Ream in particular, he's going to be 38 by the time the World Cup kicks off next summer. But for all intents and purposes, I think he's starting next year. And I mean, obviously, barring any injury, Big Tones, are you feeling kind of the same way? I mean, this is someone where you thought you could have given him a rest at some point through this competition, right? Especially after you won the first 2 group stage games. And what are your thoughts on that? Hold on, the game's about to kick off. Well, we're thinking about maybe kicking it off, and it's almost there, and we are kicking off. All right. So, Big Tones, what are your thoughts on Tim Ream, and what do you think you're seeing in this tournament that maybe could really demonstrate or be a preview for what we're going to see in the World Cup next summer?
Yeah, look, the one thing that the one thing that you can't argue with Pochettino with is how he feels about center backs, right? He was a center back himself. I'm
Yeah,
sure
good point.
it's the excuse me, the position that's kind of closest to him, right? And that he probably has the most opinions on. I think it's become clear to me and most people that Chris Richards has finally given us, what we see on a weekly basis in a national team uniform. And I saw some comments about our post this week. There's a ball over the top here from about Chris Richards. Chris Richards, up until this point, really hadn't had a good run with the national team. It was all at the club level. So
Same
he
with
needed to
Tillman
do it
too,
here.
right? We could talk.
Tillman was the other one. Yeah, those are the two we talked about for months. So I like that we've got one that's kind of locked it down. And Tim Ream, he's been playing on the left-hand side at Charlotte. I mean, you can't not give him credit for the position he's put himself in. Who would have thought that he would have even been here with a new manager and a new cycle, and he's getting a little bit older. We thought he was getting older at the last World Cup. I mean, I don't know. I didn't think it was going to be that, but I'm not going to say no, that's out of the question, Jimmy, because he's already proved us wrong for a couple of years now.
Right. No, 100%. He's aging like fine wine, Mr. Tim Ream. So long may that continue. Chuck, were you pretty surprised to see a nice little long ball up over the top to Diego Luna making a run from deep?
I love it.
I love that. Setting the tone early with that. I thought we didn't do that as much in some of the group stage games.
Well, look at here. Tyler Adams is really in an advanced position, and De La Torre is now dropped deep in front of the back four. So I think in this lineup, we're going to see players rotating, not being stuck to one position per se. Oh.
Are we seeing, wait, can somebody confirm? Is De La Torre playing no, is he in?
No, he was playing lower.
It's Berhalter that's was playing a little bit higher potentially. Dude,
I almost feel like it almost feels like it's Adams in the bottom of it, like a point down, and those two with Berhalter and De La Torre just a little bit higher than he is, almost like a 4-1-4-1, if you will.
Yeah.
Remember, Berhalter plays in that position at his club team. He's a little bit higher up the field. He's always ending up at the top of the penalty box. So, yeah, I kind of Tyler's dropping in to make three when they build out because they're pressuring with two.
Did you see that where he dropped into the three and then there's like a box in midfield? I really like that. I'm a big box in midfield guy. Just throwing that out there.
Now I know when we coach against Jimmy, Charlie, we know we got that down.
Hey, you can know all my tactics. It still comes down to execution. All
right, box midfield, guys. Here we go.
I'm a box midfield guy. Well, you got to have a couple of good center backs that can help make that happen. It feels like we're playing a little or looking to play forward quicker, which I think I want to reiterate this. Let me reset and give you some context where this thought's coming from. I said in one of our podcasts in our preview, maybe back on Tuesday, that this was the best opportunity for Mauricio Pochettino to prepare the team because he had a week, Sunday to Sunday. He had a week to prepare for this game, which must have felt very much like having a club team and being able to implement maybe some of the nuances and subtleties of how he wants the team to move on both sides of the ball. And we thought was against Saudi Arabia or even against Haiti, we just weren't playing as direct as we could, or maybe playing as fast forward as we could. And I already feel like I'm seeing some decisions that are trying to push the game a little bit more. So I want to see more of that, please. Yeah, just throwing that out there for everybody.
But in general, right? It's been this was the last time he was going to have him for basically a month, right? He's had him for an entire month because this doesn't happen anymore. You're going to have him 2 weeks before the World Cup.
All right.
Okay. So far, I like the mentality that we're seeing from this group.
I agree with you. I feel like we're playing on the front foot a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
so Patrick Gajman chases, so you don't have Diego Luna go up, and then that allows him to win that right there because he's covering that player. I love that. Good from Tim Ream.
Right. Another coaching thing that I like that you guys can make fun of me or have in your back pocket when you play against me at some point. But like it's tempo. Sometimes I always snap my fingers with my players. We're playing at this speed. We need to pick it up just a little bit. I feel like the players have really started at a good tempo this time around. It's a nice note there, Chuck. Good observation. You should be in the UEFA coaching course.
Okay, Arpson's up there. Ooh.
It's already one opportunity, right? Clearing space for Arston, a little change of play, and he gets forward.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
Another good sign
stuff.
too is when we're not just playing the next person, then the next person. Can we bypass people? Can we switch to the point of attack? I feel like we're seeing those decisions being made quicker, which is nice.
You know, Jimmy, you talked about tempo. One thing that gets under my skin sometimes is when I see center backs slow the game down to their pace, right? Because then when they're slow, we'll see Berhalter's restart here.
A little far.
Yeah, Taylor has a comment here. Loving how Luna wants the ball, constant movement. I was a Luna fan, but I got to see him play early in the season in MLS. First game of the season. RSL came to San Jose. They lost 4-0, but I was really impressed with Diego Luna's movement off the ball and just in wanting the ball and taking responsibility, which obviously the stats back it up. And Salt Lake's not the same team when he's not on the field, but yeah, the next note by Taylor.
And it shouldn't go unnoticed, right? Or untalked about that. Pablo Mastroeni told him before last year, if you're going to make it at the next level, you got to work on both sides of the ball because he was a little bit lazy without the ball, and he's become like a complete workhorse.
Yeah,
like he's kind of flipped the switch, man. He works on every single play.
Hey, the tempo. I think I'm just a smidge ahead of you guys, but the tempo is just.
And this is better from the center backs. Don't slow the game down.
This game. I really love the start of this game.
Yes, 1 touch, 2 touch, quick turn.
Yep. That's a team that's been with the coaching staff for 4 or 5 days. It's not like he's got 2 or 3 days and just
put a little ambitious there with Max Arfson.
But signal of intent though, right?
Yeah. Getting a left back guy. Yeah.
So Costa Rica,
and you'd rather lose the ball there, right? You'd rather lose the ball over the top instead of losing the ball just playing around the back. Like stretch them a little bit because what that'll eventually do is open things up underneath.
Yeah, exactly right. And as Brad says in our private chat, good amounts of butts in the seats in Minnesota. Yeah, that's a good turnout.
Good observation, Brad.
Nice, Brad. We appreciate you.
Brad, paying attention, Brad.
Brad Pauly, sharp. Great observation.
I haven't seen really Costa Rica have like any kind of flow or tempo right now, or any kind of they're going backwards, getting the ball. Even when I guess what I like is, or something that I try to notice when I'm watching any teams play at any level, are they still in control of the game even when they don't have the ball? And right now it looks like the U.S. Are in that kind of mode, and that's a great place to be.
I think Costa Rica is playing a risky game when they're trying to build out. You could see they really don't have numbers going forward. Oh, was that a miscommunication there, or just you think he just didn't hit it hard enough, Tony? That ball.
Yeah, it looked like he flubbed that one a little bit, right? You want a little crisper pass, and I like the fact that Freeze could have cut it to was it Ream down the left, and he just said,
"I learned my lesson."
Yeah, I got one lesson. That's it. I'm good.
Yeah, I kind of hope we get back to, and I know things are cyclical, so I kind of hope we get back to just like goalkeepers just being really good at being a goalkeeper. We don't need them to be number 10s. I want that trend to die. I know that it's impossible, but hopefully there's like a halfway point where we're not so heavily dependent on our goalkeepers making the game. Unless you have Big Tone's feet. Big Tone's had excellent feet for everybody that didn't know.
I would have loved to have played in this day and age. That would have been so. I'd have gotten in trouble too. Like I would have been.
Risks.
Yeah, you would have been too cheeky.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, I was cheeky. Cheeky back then.
I would have given you a few hot potato passes for sure.
Yeah, you got a quick boot up your backside too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Sorry, I don't want to.
Max he bit in there, huh? And lost that one.
He bit. Oh.
I thought you were just about to give away a goal for Costa Rica, to be honest, the way you said that.
Who, me?
Yeah, because you're like, oh, yeah, I don't want to say anything.
I mean, it's...
Oh! Is that what you're talking about?
I'm not that far ahead, but
it's a pen?
Dang.
It's a pen like that?
No, it's not a pen. He didn't. They didn't end up calling a pen. I'm gonna break the suspense. But he could have called the pen.
No, I think he did. No,
did he? Because it looks like it hit his hand, but that's inadvertent. And
no, on the tackle.
This
is where I think he gave the pen. Yeah, he went through him.
Oh, it's a pen.
They called a pen?
That's a pen.
That should be a pen.
I mean, if it's not, we got really lucky. Holy cow! What is he doing?
Yeah, it's a pen.
It's a pen. Francisco Calvo's taking it.
Jimmy, what are you doing, man?
What? I'm just telling you who's taking it. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not even going to look.
You said it wasn't a pen.
I didn't know it was a pen. I stopped looking so like you guys could catch up.
You watching the game?
No, I'm trying to watch in the future. Well, now we're going to find out if Matt Freese is any good at penalties. So here we go. Ah, man.
Jimmy, I put this.
Crazy.
3 for 16 in his career, and he actually saved one from Kerwin Vargas, who's starting tonight. That was one of his 3 saves.
I will say,
come on, Matt Freese, you got
Max
this.
Arpson's defending.
Oh, damn! Look at the stat; they put it in there.
He's given too much space.
Listen, I'm going to watch this. I'm ahead of you, but I'm not going to react.
I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at the TV.
Yeah, I'm not looking at him either.
Don't do it.
Don't yell, Jimmy.
Calvo stepping up.
Calvo, huh?
Come on, Freese. Come on, Freese. He's gonna go left. Keeper's right.
I think he goes down the middle hard.
Oh!
Calvo gets the goal, hits it off the post. Costa Rica have taken the 1-0 lead over the U.S. When I'll be honest, it was one of my favorite starts of the tournament from the U.S. so far. And that's the game. That's why you love it, and that's why you hate it. Well, you love it if it goes for you, and you hate it if it goes against you. And the Ticos with the big 1-0 lead. Honestly, it's kind of sticking with the theme that we've seen so far in the Gold Cup quarterfinals. All the underdogs so far have won. Honduras beat Panama in the quarterfinals. Guatemala just beat Canada in the quarterfinals.
Mexico's not an underdog.
That's true. I forgot. Mexico beat Saudi Arabia 2-0. Mexico would look very good, by the way.
He's got his fingertips to it, huh, Thomas?
You know what? He came forward maybe a little bit too far. You see the motion to go forward. If he, in that instance, if he goes to his left a little bit more angled toward the post, he may have a chance to save this one because he hits it with a little bit of pace.
Derek B, give me a hard time that I didn't react. Okay, maybe I reacted slightly.
Max Arpson was defending way too far off.
Remember, on that play, he's the one that bit in and around midfield somewhere, then had to recover all the way back.
All right,
now you got a little challenge.
Right, yeah, we got a little response. Yeah. Arpson, whip that in, baby.
It is a bit, we haven't talked about it. It's a silly tackle from Arpson in that position.
Yeah, right. That's a nice test, though. You're right. A nice challenge for the group. How are we going to respond? We haven't been down yet in this tournament. Costa Rica had the lead against Suriname. They're up 2-0, ended up giving up 3 straight goals and came back to win that one 4-3. And then they went down to Dominican Republic, and they ended up coming back to win that 2-1. They survived the Mexico game. They gave up about 55,000 chances and ended 0-0. So this is a Costa Rica team that is open. For me, they're wide open. Mexico had so many chances that game. So we're not going to not get chances. We just have to take those chances.
Yeah, and you got one problem. That's Keylor Navas in between them.
That's true. That's not helping the cause.
No.
All right. Woo! Okay. Well, this is what you saw. You find out about your team, right? Little character check.
Gordo asked, "Is CR going to park the bus?" I don't think they're going to park the bus. That's not in their identity. You look, they're throwing numbers forward. They're coming to press. Tim Ream, De La Torre, Tim Ream, too slow. Oh, nearly picked off. Need to get Ajiman in space.
It's really not hard it's hard not to react when I'm a little bit ahead. Oh, baby. Somebody got a souvenir in row 20, though, just FYI.
Yep.
What did Arpson? What is Arson doing right now?
What are you talking about reacting? There was nothing to react for. You shot that went over the outside of the stadium.
You're like 8 seconds behind, but ahead of us. I mean,
yeah, I'll take. Yeah, so I tried to pause my stuff, everybody, but when I go back to press play again, it just jumps back to live. So I'm kind of stuck with what I got, and I'll do my very best to be a statue through important moments in the game until I know that you guys have caught up. That's
not authentic, Jimmy.
Well, it is given the situation. All I can say is this game hasn't got as chippy as some of the other games we've seen.
Well, Costa Rica got the early goal, so now
it will.
It's kind of taking the air out of it. That's true. That's true. It is early. It is early.
This is still CONCACAF, Jimmy.
That's true. That's fair. That's fair. All right. We're 15 minutes into the first half. Let's get some chatter from the chat. How's everybody feeling right now? If you're watching the Golasso Network, you want to be part of the conversation, go over to the Golasso America YouTube channel, hit like and subscribe, and then hop into the comments and join us. What are your thoughts 15 minutes in? Are you still buoyed with the with the feeling that we're gonna get back into this game and get a win? I had 2-0, so my prediction's out. But you guys both had 2-1, so you guys are still on course for the great
look,
USMNT
I think we're certainly playing well enough, right? We've got to create a little bit more cutthroat in the box. You know, this Costa Rican side's going to sit deep. They've got 5 across the back. Got to find ways to
movement.
Yeah.
See, I think Patrick Ajman needs to make a run there instead of posting up.
Well, I was going to say, was he posting up too long?
Yeah, he was posting up way too long.
You post up, you're closed off. What do? You got to spin, right? You got to go someplace else.
Spin or just pop out. Take 2 steps and create a gap. He either has to go with you or he stays, and then you're creating another passing lane for yourself.
Yeah, good shout on that.
Yeah, because I feel if you're waiting there too long, it's probably because the guy with the ball doesn't think you're open, right? Like you got more pressure than you think.
And not only that, he's coming towards you with a defender or 2, and now you're bringing another one into it. So this one guy now is able to mark 2. Good turn. Woo! Now do something. Okay. Oh!
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff, though.
For me, getting a little bit early now, I can turn and just watch you guys, which is maybe more enjoyable. Yeah, good opportunity there. Malik Tillman found himself in a good space. Could have maybe taken a shot from distance, showed some composure, got the ball out wide to De La Torre, who had a nice little cross to the back post for
that was always going to be a super difficult finish.
Yeah, coming up over your shoulder, side volley goes out for a goal kick. But we're still creating some chances, just nothing. Not getting on the end of those crosses with any real purpose at the moment. I wonder if there's a little bit more action on the near post as opposed to the back post.
All right, I'd like to see a little bit more intensity closing down. Berhalter's doing a good job, but the rest of the guys.
Well, this is where you hit that first lull. I don't want to call it a lull. Maybe, yeah. All right, we'll use it a lull. Chuck, right? Where okay, you gave your initial energy, you kind of had some ideas about how you wanted to press, gave up a goal against the run of play, and now you're trying to kind of solve that next problem. And I could see why that slowed the team down a little bit.
The air conditioner is off at my place as the construction's happening. I am hot as hell. I am burning in here.
Does that mean mean you're gonna be triggered like easier because you're hot, or do you get more
100%?
You can start hallucinating.
The magnitude of this game, the intensity is really making it even more unbearable.
The good thing is you wore the heaviest jersey that U.S. Soccer's ever created for a team.
I love that. I love
Because that thing weighs like 8 pounds.
This thing is heavy.
It's so heavy, that one.
Oh, man. Whew.
All right. So they just threw up some stats there. 2 shots for the U.S., none on goal. 1 shot for Costa Rica. It was a penalty. It was on goal, of course. And they have the 1-0 lead. We have 75% possession. Costa Rica has the rest. But it's what you do with the possession that makes a difference.
Well said, Jimmy.
Yeah, you know.
Boy, that's like 4 times. Matt Freese ain't messing around when the ball comes back to him. He's just pumping that thing.
He said, no thanks.
Yeah,
It's one thing, though, Tones, right? Where, and even for you, like as a resident number 9, Charlie Davies, if you know that every time the goalkeeper is going to get the ball, they're lumping it long, you can position yourself in a way to be prepared for that. And I think that's just as important at times. Where we saw it today with Guatemala against Canada. Their goalkeeper, Navarro, got it. That dude was sideballing it like 60 yards, and the guy just took off. And they skipped a whole bunch of lines. They tried to press up and tried to win the next ball and made it really difficult for Canada. Now Canada, even when they win it, are under a little bit of pressure, and it's just harder for them to build back up again. So I think there's a lot of value as long as everybody's on the same page and thinking the same things. If you're not, that's where people get frustrated. The team gets a little bit pulled out of shape, and that leads to even more frustration. And that's when space opens up and other teams can take advantage. So,
yeah, well, what's the last thing you want, right? You want the ball going back to the goalkeeper. You got center back splitting. You got fullbacks getting wide, and you thump the ball. Now there's this 60 yards of space in between you. Right. If we all know that the guy's going to pump the ball, what are you doing as a center back? And
you're stepping up.
You're going, right? You're just going, and now you're a little bit closer. You can win the second ball. And, yeah, it's just a matter of learning each other and understanding which balls that, Matt Freese or Matt Turner, they're going to play out. You can't play everything out.
Hey, we're 22 minutes and 10 seconds in. We got a little chippy. We're getting chippy. Chippy starting, everybody. Tyler Adams gets fouled from behind, and that's leading to some friction and emotion, and I love it. Now we just got to stay calm and steady within that. I love the energy that type of chippiness brings, but you still got to stay calm and steady, which I don't think Canada did a good job of. I thought they lost their composure and their cool, and ultimately I think that cost them in their game against Guatemala. Just throwing that out there. We still got to stay steady no matter how chaotic it might get. All right. Free kick time for the U.S. Looks like Berhalter is going to stand over it.
I feel like we're starting to get into the CONCACAF zone about halfway into this first half here.
Keylor Navas.
All right, so we have a question from the chat as we see Max Arfson make a hell of a defensive play here to step
really
in front of
nice job.
A play here. So we want to make sure we give him his flowers when he makes a good play, but should have done better on the penalty. Question is this. Nick Gilliver says, are the Pochettino rumors true to Brentford? No, they are not true. And in fact, he addressed them in his press conference yesterday. Mauricio Pochettino said, this club, he's referencing Brentford, never contacted me. I never talked to them. For me, it seems like, I don't know, maybe that publication that put out this report just threw Pochettino in there for click baiting. And it worked because we're still talking about it.
Don't you feel like we're gonna hear this over and over again for a year?
Yeah,
with Pochettino, right?
Probably.
Yeah, I mean he's going to be a highly sought after manager.
Yeah, what's interesting is I went down the path like even if he doesn't do well for the U.S. as a manager, it still I don't think will impact or dent his club opportunities because people are like, well, he's already had a track record with Tottenham and Chelsea and PSG and Southampton and Espanyol. So yeah, I don't think this will matter. I just went down that rabbit hole just for everybody else.
He'll have a job easily. He'll find a job.
Right. Then he's got to perform well on that job.
See, I think Arfson should have been higher up the pitch there.
When De La Torre got it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
And now he's out of the picture.
He went high on that play, right?
Yeah.
I thought
His
Diego
ti-
Luna should have played that. Maybe could have played it first time, right? When the gap opened up and then he kept it.
His timing's off.
As a reminder, there are 3 players on the U.S. that if they get a yellow, they're out for the next game. It's Luna, Berhalter, and Tyler Adams. So just something to keep in mind. Of course, we obviously have to get a result to get to a next game.
Tyler John with who was that in the midfield?
Vargas.
Was it Vargas? Yeah.
Yeah. Now Tim Ream coming out of the back. They're inviting him up.
I don't mind that.
No,
He's a good passer.
the idea is he comes up and then you take that, you win the ball
Right.
and play it in behind that space he vacated. Go forward. Go forward.
Also,
Oh, play back. Oh,
why did he get your reaction? Also, what I do think what happens is if you allow a defender, in this instance, Tim Ream, to come into the midfield, it does condense the space. So all of a sudden, the passing lane that maybe was available is gone because you've either brought in another defender or you're running into that space yourself. And so there could be a little bit of that by design. Okay, we'll let a center back run into it. It's not going to impact us that much. We're not going to get shifted by it. Then it's up to Tim Ream and others to make a good pass. And Tim did on that particular instance, putting the ball off a nice, well-timed run by Ajimang. But then you got to get something out of that.
yeah. But I like the idea between Ajimang and Tillman playing off each other, play a 1-2.
Yeah, that was nice. I like that as well.
The center back seems like they're both biting.
I want to see Freeman get forward a little bit more, man.
Yeah.
Forward touch here.
Yeah, I want to see that as well.
There's the workhorse.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, Freeze said, don't even think about playing me. I am
That's
not
4 or 5, Chuck. That's
Yeah.
4 or 5.
So you guys are going to catch up here in a second, but when Tyler Adams gets this ball from Malik Tillman, and Malik Tillman had to earn that with a pretty hard foul, Freeman goes forward and we don't get him the ball. And I think Tyler tries to go back the other way, and that gets cut out, and it leads to a foul for Costa Rica. But that was a good opportunity, I think, to maybe create a 2v1 if Tyler drives it out wide with Freeman. And so I'm a little sad because we are asking to see Freeman to get into the attack, and when he did get the opportunity, we don't play him the ball.
Freeman got crunched. I mean, Tillman got crunched there.
Crunched.
Well, he had a nice Meg.
Yeah, the game is getting chippy. I love CONCACAF games.
You do?
I did. I loved it. It fit my player profile, Big Tones. All commitment and heart. That's it. That's me. By the way, can we talk about PSG? Whew.
Oh,
Those guys are unbelievable. They have no weaknesses. They've got zero weaknesses. It's remarkable to watch. Listen, in Miami.
They said, wait. They said you guys are the possession team in MLS?
Listen,
Okay.
The reason Botafogo beat PSG in the group stages is because they could run and press. You have to make PSG uncomfortable, or any top teams. You got to make them uncomfortable. Inter Miami's not doing that with Busquets, who gave up the ball in the second goal, which ultimately opened up the floodgates, even though PSG were always going to win that game. And then Messi, Suarez, okay, they might press for 10 seconds, but then after that, they're not pressing. So, yeah, it was never going to be. It was always going to be one-way traffic, dude.
You could use it sort of MLS terms, shot from distance here. We have 3 DPs, right? And slice them up however you want. Doesn't matter to me. They have 23 on their team.
Yeah, exactly right. Good shout.
We're not even close.
Not close.
Right? Yeah, and you know, and then you gift them Like you mentioned Busquets, and what's the young kid, the center back, Aviles.
Yeah, Aviles. Yeah.
You give them opportunities. It's it's crazy.
Yeah.
But they also put you under a lot of pressure.
Of course they do. Listen. Inter Miami has nothing to be ashamed of. Ultimately, Atletico Madrid lost 4-0 to PSG to start the tournament. PSG beat Inter Milan, another Inter team, in the Champions League final 4-0. Oh, I need a minute. I'm ahead of you guys. I need a minute. Come on.
What's the minute?
Come on. We got to get something that has to be a shot on goal, Chuck. That has to be and Toads. That has to turn into some kind of. Can we make Navas at least make a save? We got to get a shot on goal there.
Yeah.
He didn't want the responsibility.
Yeah, but he scored 2 goals like that this year from that exact spot in Orlando. I called one of them. I was on one of the games, exact spot where he didn't even think about it. But I think it's just a lack of getting forward in this entire tournament.
Oh no.
Ah.
Are you guys caught up now? Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Not yet.
Get up. Oh. He pinched his ankle. He pinched it. Yeah, that's a foul, dude. That could be a pen, by the way. Yeah, I agree with you're going to see it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Tillman gives the VAR sign. Take a look, dude.
Oh, man.
Oh. That is VAR.
Oh, that's a red card.
You should look at it. I mean, that's late. It's a cleat showing.
Are they going to look at it?
I haven't seen if he's looking at it yet or not.
We just got, if we're not, we got CONCACAF.
You got to look at that. Oh, he's
saying.
Yeah, he's telling Tim Ream
he's going to look. He's going to look.
Yep.
Yeah, this might be a red card. I wouldn't be surprised
Jimmy.
if it's a red card, Jimmy.
Yeah, it's late. Boots are showing up over the ball or up over his ankle.
That part where you talk about putting an opponent in danger, right? Like, that's a nasty tackle.
Show it again. Yay.
Yeah, that is nasty, man.
Oof.
It's for sure a penalty. Now, is it a red card?
Yeah, I think the pen is an easy one.
Straight leg.
Oh, yeah, look at that's a red card. That's a red card. What is Dr. Joe saying on this thing?
If I'm thinking about it from a number 4 perspective, is he just trying to block the I mean, I guess intent doesn't really matter at that point. Yeah, it's bad. That's like a red card and a pen.
Intent means nothing.
Okay.
Not part of the law. So
yeah, there is no intent. I'm calling penalty and
pen and a
red card. This is a double whammy here for me.
Wow.
I didn't see it in real time, man, but looking at these videos, we're actually lucky he got
leg. It's a straight leg.
Yeah, we're lucky he got up.
That's a red card. That's a red card.
That's dirty. That is CONCACAF peak CONCACAF.
Who takes the PK? Who takes the PK in this group?
Tillman, if he can.
Tillman, yeah.
I would give it to
Luna.
Listen, I'm still. I think the game should change. I think there should be a rule change that if you earn the penalty, you should have to take it unless you're hurt.
But what's if he's hurt?
Well, yeah, then you have your designated penalty, or if there's a handball, you have a designated penalty.
Hey, Andis Brown said I felt it on my ankles, and I did.
And he called it. Got the pen and
is it red? And no red card.
Why are you holding out, dude? Piojo looks pissed.
But that's easy.
No palabras. Oh.
How can you not give a card here if you give a penalty? I don't get it.
You have to acknowledge the foul.
This is a red card, man. I'm sorry, dude. We're in full CONCACAF mode right now. Dude, we are.
Yeah, I think he would have already given it. He's not giving a card.
I just saw it again. Oh, my stomach hurts.
At the very minimum, if he goes, I don't think there's enough force in there. It's reckless. It's a yellow. It's 100. You can give a yellow because you've already looked at the play. You can give a yellow.
Okay. Wait, hold on.
Oh, I'm seeing.
Yeah,
Somebody-
he got a yellow. He got a yellow.
All right, he did get a yellow.
That's
You
so
did get a yellow.
CONCACAF right there. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah,
That's awful.
yeah. Does it fall under dogs though? No, it doesn't, right? Like if you give up a pen.
No.
But endangering the player, it falls under.
You're thinking of double jeopardy, Jimmy.
Yeah, right,
So
right.
It's a pen and a red card. But
Did you do that?
If there's no intent to play the ball, if you're not making a play at the ball, right?
I see. All right. It looks like Mr. Malik Tillman is taking it. And that's all I'm going to do. That's it. I'm just going to give you that preview if you're a little bit behind. And like the other Costa Rica penalty.
What timestamp are you at, Jimmy? Give it to me right now.
35, 33.
Oh!
35.
You 12 seconds ahead, bro.
13 seconds. Man,
I'm sorry. I tried to stop it, but then when I put it back, it goes back to live. I don't know what to do.
You're like Marty McFly over here. Chill out, man.
CONCACAF has entered the building, man. We're in for it here.
Jimmy McFly over here. He's got 15 seconds.
I'm not saying anything. Not saying anything.
Taylor Navas.
You know what? I'm just gonna get some water. I like to stay hydrated during these long watch-alongs.
I can't take this BS poker faces you're putting on. Oh, Taylor Navas versus Tillman. This is no joke.
Taylor doing a lot of jumping around, huh?
Yep. He's trying to get in his head. Trying to say, yeah. Oh,
oh my Najalami. Oh my god.
Oh my.
Yeah. How was my poker face? How was my poker face there? Okay.
Oh my.
Hold on. It's good. Listen. Are you seatbelts fastened? Because it's gonna get chippy here in about 2 seconds for you. It's getting crazy.
CONCACAF is in the building.
Oh baby.
I cannot believe that.
Okay. Maybe you shouldn't let the person that took the penalty
Dude, I heard all my family. I heard my oldest go, "Oh my god!" And I'm like, he must have missed. Like they're in 2 rooms over.
Where's the chippiness coming from? Somebody talked some trash to Malik, and then it popped off. This game's not going to end 11v11, by the way. Just want to throw that out there. I did. Ivis is right. In our private chat, he said that it didn't get chippy until I mentioned it. Like, wow, this game doesn't feel that chippy. Oh, man. So we gave up a pen. We've missed a pen.
Let's see the reaction, Tony. Let's see the reaction.
CONCACAF is going to.
That's over. That play's over, right? You gotta worry about the next one. He had Navas went the other way.
He sent him the wrong way.
Okay. So Chris Richards and Vargas both got yellows. But Richards was not one of our 3 players on a yellow, so he'll be okay to play in the semifinal, assuming we can get there. Got a lot of work to do now. Wow. I'm a bit speechless, to be honest.
I don't know how. I still don't know how that's not a red card based on everything that we've been told about the laws of the game. We do all these classes. I know it has nothing to do with CONCACAF. We try and learn about the laws, and you're telling me that's not a red card.
That was an important yellow card for Vargas from Costa Rica. He now has a yellow card accumulation. He'll miss the semifinal if the Ticos can get there. But they'll welcome back in their 2 guys that are also out at the moment, which is Ugalde and Mora. This game has plenty in it. You can feel it. It has plenty in this game. There's going to be more action.
See, there's
goals. There's more goals in this game.
There's no way there's not a red card in this game someplace.
Red card and another goal.
Easy.
That's without a fact.
Easy.
I agree with that.
Without a doubt. What do we got, Jimmy McFly? Tell me how this corner goes.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything.
Is that Berhalter on the corner again?
I do believe that set pieces are an area where we can take advantage. They do a little bit of a mix of zoning and man marking, so I appreciate that. But
Hey, man, but I got to go tell my family to be silent because they're like hooting and hollering in the other room.
We can't hear him.
I can hear them.
Come on, Patrick.
all right. We got 5 minutes before half. Well, there'll probably be a couple minutes tacked on due to everything popping off there for a bit. Some injuries, some VARs. So probably my guess is 5 minutes of injury time of the first half. So we've seen quite a few corners so far, and I don't know why we don't have someone on Navas. Like, we don't have any players in the 6-yard box. And I feel like, not to say we're playing it anywhere around Navas, but I feel it's still, well, let's use Arsenal, set piece masters this past European season. And they always had somebody on the goalkeeper, maybe 2 people on the goalkeeper. I just think that's, and obviously the service was put into an area that made it difficult for the goalkeeper to come out and attack it. I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of that, put Navas under pressure a little bit, than trying to hit it outside the 6 and hoping for a power header. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, it looks like the back post to Ajiman has been one of the targets here.
Which I get. That makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
But some variation would be all right.
We've had
That's
just
good.
a
That's
one
good
shot
for
on target.
Berhalter.
Oh, and he got decked too.
That wasn't it was almost a basically I'm giving you the most predictable pass there is. And he could have been jumped by 3 Costa Ricans, and he found a way out. Oh.
Yeah, bad giveaway.
You see that? I want you guys to notice, Jimmy, that Arfson's now is playing so high that it's forcing Tim Ream to play more like a left back with all the amount of space he's going to have to cover now.
Yeah, but Arfson getting forward, I think, is a good thing, Chuck.
Yeah, but it's got to be in balance. It's got to be in moderation.
Just stay with me.
Yeah.
Just stay with me here, Chuck.
Let's
Stay
go.
with me. Let's go. Come on. That's why I think it's a good thing.
I don't
Luna.
care if it's
Come
a
on.
deflection. I don't care.
Luna.
We knew there was another goal in this one. You got to create your own luck. Put yourself in a good spot. Arfson gets up high. Diego Luna finds himself in a good spot in the box. Hits it with his left foot. Takes a deflection. He goes past Keylor Navas. It is 1-1, baby. A couple minutes before halftime. Get in. LFG. Let's go.
Yes. What a
We
beautiful
missed a pen.
deflection.
Doesn't matter.
It's a beautiful deflection.
Feeling bad for ourselves? Okay, fine. We pick ourselves up and get after it again. As Tony said, it's the next play that matters. That's the most important play. And now we get a little momentum going into halftime. Maybe we can steal another one while Costa Rica's not feeling good about themselves. But it's all even now. 1-1.
That was
Back at it.
important before the half. That was massive.
We are so back, says Gabriel. Yes, we are, chat. We are back.
Gabriel, dang. Dang, we back.
Good for Luna.
That's
Good,
Diego Luna's
good.
first ever goal for the U.S. men's national team. Congratulations to him. What a hell of a season he's had.
Yeah.
For both club and country.
Now that should be. Let's get everybody activated. Game on.
Here we go.
Oh, Tony,
Under control.
talk to your boy, Tony.
Under control.
Matt Freeze gonna have some.
Does he have the right boots on, Tony?
He's got
Boy,
ice skates on. He's Matt Freeze.
That was some heat played back to him. Oof. Tackle there. Coming in hard.
All right. Now I'm kind of curious about the tactical adjustments both teams are going to try to make here.
But if you're Poach, what different would you do? You pretty much controlled the whole first half. You got to be a little bit sharper in front of goal. We knew that this side would be set up in a counterattacking way. And I mean, how many times have they realistically crossed midfield, Costa Rica?
No.
You know, in being dangerous, right?
Maybe something in the buildup, though, because I feel like to Chuck's point, we were a little bit one-sided, and that can be somewhat predictable.
And Tim Ream's given away a couple of
he has
a couple of balls here, which is uncharacteristic for him.
Yeah. I agree. All right, we have yet to see how much injury time or stoppage time is going to be in the first half.
Oh,
there it
great
is. 5
touch
minutes.
from-
I called it. 5 minutes.
Great touch from Luna right there.
Luna, a little skill check on the touch line there, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like the only time that Costa Rica's had anything meaningful in our half is when we've made a mistake, Tones, right? When Arston missed that ball which ended up being the penalty.
Yeah.
Or
a couple of giveaways.
Yeah, a couple of giveaways or trying to dribble out of pressure. Again, it feels this whole tournament, anything that's been happening to us negatively defensively feels like it's been self-inflicted. So obviously that's I don't want to take anything away from the opponents and the type of pressure they're putting on us, but it feels like we have the quality to correct that pretty easily. Or that's my hope, at least. But what a big goal by Diego Luna. Helps set the tone. Had we gone down at halftime 1-0, not to say we couldn't get back into it. It's just going to be a tougher ask because then Costa Rica could have their halftime to set up how they're going to manage a 1-0 lead. And now it's 1-1, everything to play for. And what are we saying on
Yes, Freeze.
yeah,
Okay.
good goalkeeping, huh? Good
At
goalkeeping by Matt
first-
Freeze.
At first, I said,
Good read,
this is
man.
a little risky to come out that far.
Agreed.
It's a good read, though, man.
It was. And
If
no
you're gonna come
hesitation,
out-
too, right? No
Tony,
hesitation.
Yeah. Well,
Tony,
at one
is
point, you can't stop.
Is
Yeah,
this not the law, Tony? If you come out, you better get it. That's it.
Yes, sir.
That's the law.
That's
the law of the
law.
universe.
You if you're a goalkeeper and you dare leave your line,
Yeah.
you best make contact with that ball.
I can feel Charlie has said this to his U10 goalkeeper. Right? If you leave your line,
I'm
best
telling you
get
right
the
now,
ball.
You better make contact.
Yeah. They're showing the Diego Luna goal again.
Yeah.
He actually does a really nice job with his first touch because that cross is a little bit behind him to get it out of his feet and to get something on that with some power. So really excited again for Diego Luna to get his first ever international goal. No better time than now to make that happen a couple minutes before halftime to equal the score 1-1.
Checking some stats just real quick, Jimmy, just because I was wondering
like
how many
stats.
passes. I was just wondering how many passes Costa Rica completed. They might not hit 100 in the first half.
And
That's
what'd you
that's
find?
really poor.
Let me see.
89.
89?
89.
Wow.
Come on, Patrick. Use your body.
That's a lot of defending, bro.
89 passes connected, 70% pass
90.
accuracy, and only 27% possession overall in this game for the Ticos.
Oh, Calvo.
Stay out of there,
Berhalter.
Sebastian. Stay
Yeah.
out of there. You got a yellow, right? He's on a yellow, isn't he?
Berhalter?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on the yellow.
Yeah, he was. He got that one when Tyler Adams got hit the other night.
Yeah. I like his spirit, though. I don't think that was a foul either.
Either way, you don't want to be going to ground there.
Nah, true. Tillman can be walking out with a body cast. Didn't he get kneed in the head in the last play? Get no ankle. All right. Couple minutes left in this one. This first half, I should say.
Tillman gets called for a foul here, huh?
I'm not sure what the foul was. Looks like he was getting pulled and he fell down, and then he knocked the guy over when he fell down, and they called it against him. That's when you get frustrated as a player. It's gonna be a last gas free kick here towards the end of the half for the Ticos.
I feel like that half went by fast, no?
It did. There's a lot going on. Again, I really loved our start too. It's such a bummer that we had a penalty in the middle of all that because I just thought, remember the tempo we were talking about? We were playing so quick. Everything was nice and crisp. And then obviously we get the penalty and the game shifts and our mood changes. And,
Hey,
and
Alfred, the not so great, is watching this from England. Shout out to Alfred. You stayed up late.
Nice.
Yeah, this game has been a good game so far.
It
I mean,
has.
not so much the quality per se, but the attitude towards the match.
Yeah.
I liked it. I like it. All right. So the game just ended. Jimmy, what's the score?
It's 1-1.
Hey, Jimmy, how's the semifinal going? Good?
Yeah. You know what? The semifinal's doing great.
So we're going to pens now. It's 1-1?
1-1 at the half. That is exactly right. And yeah,
I need to go get some water.
You want to get some water?
All right. I need some ice cubes too.
Well, let's
you
take
need
let's
to
take
pay the air
break.
conditioning
It's a good
bill.
time. We have a hydration break happening here on the Glossa Network and on the Glossa America YouTube channel. And then we're going to break it all down for you on our little halftime show right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Woo.
It is halftime of the U.S. men's national team's game against Costa Rica in the quarterfinals of the Gold Cup. We are your favorite average to good podcast. Call it what you want. I'm Jimmy Conrad alongside Charlie Davies and Tony Miola. And we're excited. We had a little momentum. Got a late goal there from Diego Luna, his first ever in the red, white, and blue. And in 10 appearances, that is, to even up the score after Malik Tillman missed a penalty that he had earned the hard way after getting a hard tackle on his ankle, which we argue maybe should have been a red card. But Charlie, coming to you first. How are you rating that out of 10, that half? I mean, I know that you talked right before we went into the halftime show that you really liked the attitude and the energy of the guys, but maybe the quality was lacking a little bit. But in CONCACAF and a knockout round game, this is kind of what these games look like.
Yeah, well, you got to take into consideration, one, the cheap penalty we gave away with Max Arfson, and I think that's youth and experience, youth in terms of he's not the youngest player, but he's young in terms of his international experience. And in a big moment, I think he just wasn't thinking in the right frame of mind, and that happens. Unfortunately, you don't want to see it happen in your own box, and then you miss a pen. I would say with this performance, we're looking at a 6.5.
Okay.
The first half. Yeah.
I'd almost go. I'm going to take what you said and piggyback off of that, Chuck, before I throw it over to you, Tones, because I think there's something to be said, and maybe even pushes this up to a 7 because we gave up a cheap penalty, because we missed a penalty, but yet we still had the fortitude as a group to find a way to get a goal. And I like that. So I'm going to try to convince you. Maybe a 7 is a little bit more of a fair.
7 is way too high.
Too high?
Okay. A 7?
Okay.
It's 1-1.
I know it's 1-1, but I'm just saying
it's not like that all happened and we're winning 2-1 or 3-1 or 3.
I get that, but we overcame some of that, and
Jimmy,
we're matching the chippiness.
Jimmy, stop that right now. You might as well give them a 9.
I'm not a 9 and a 7.
They fought back. Oh my God. Hey Tony, the resilience was incredible. The way they went down 3 pens,
11.
they had a couple of red cards. It's
11.
Nope. I'm not going to let you cheapen my words, Chuck. I'm not letting you cheapen my words. I'm going to say 7. You can stick with your 6.5. Okay.
7?
I went.
How you define a 10. I was just happy with the mentality of the group, and I agree with you on all of that. But I think that there should be something that counts. A little point. Adding a 0.5 more.
Now that you said that, I'm going 6. Solid 6.
I wrote it down. 6 is what I wrote. I got it right here. Just haven't created enough against a team that's allowed you in the final third. I don't think the quality. I don't think the quality of the crosses have been good enough. So I wrote down here: keep the pace of the game high. Be a little bit braver around the box. 6, because you were asking the question, and then put pressure on that back line and make them play forward long. Don't allow them to get any rhythm in the midfield.
Yeah.
A little bit better in the box.
No, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sitting with it. I'm seeing the chat. I'm seeing Big Tones. I'm hearing Big Tones and Charlie. Fine. Maybe fine. I'll go 6.5 then. You guys can have
5.
Your 6s.
Jimmy went 5.
I didn't go 5. No, that's not true. That's not true. But I do value the heart of the team, and maybe I'm just giving that too many extra points. So what do you want to see in the second half, or what do you expect to see, Chuck? Maybe those are two different things. So tell me what you expect to see, and what do you want to see?
Okay. What I want to see is them play forward quicker and movement off the ball, more dynamic movement off the ball, because it still looks a little stagnant for me. It's too reactive. I want to see proactive movement. So
but they started the game that way though, right? Remember, they started the game playing like that.
Okay. But was it consistent? We saw it and maybe in little spurts, and it wasn't a large portion of the first half. I want to see them pulling Costa Rican players out of space to create space. I want to see runs into space to move players, and then you go wide, or you go wide, you get them to open up, and then you can play intricately in the middle. We're not seeing enough of that. And for Patrick Agyemang as a 9, his strengths are running into space with the ball on the ground. Not I know he's big, but playing in the air he's not a big aerial presence. That's not his game. His game is you can play it in his space, let him run into the channel. Let him play with the ball at his feet. He's not someone who's going to take it down and have these little intricate touches in tight spaces, but he's somebody that you can play into space and let him be an outlet. That's where he thrives. And Tony, we talk about down that left channel. He likes to come down the left and then use his body to shoot with his right foot and from the left side of the box. So he needs to be used in that way if you want to get the most out of him.
And Tones, how about you? What do you want to see, and what do you expect to see? Maybe those are intertwined. Maybe you're gonna get both at the same time.
I actually think so far, what are we for? Just the 3.5 games in, that was the best movement for me. And that was the quickest that we played, right? And so again, keep the pace of the game quick, because I think the quicker, both with and without the ball, you keep the pace of the game, I don't think they can hang with you. Mm-hmm. So that's what I would like to see. The only thing to Chuck's point about Agyemang kind of getting around the corner and running in behind, if we pin them in, those spacers are not there anymore. So then Agyemang has to be a little bit more creative in his movement, right? if you're breaking out and it's Tim Ream kind of building out, or it's Arston even building out. We saw Tolkien against who was it, Haiti, right, where he played the ball around the corner and he gets in. You have to use that when it's on early, but once you get in that final third of the field, to Chuck's point earlier about Ajiman just kind of posting up, that part's got to be a little bit more dynamic. You got to, because we've had the ball in there in the final third of the field the majority of the first half, so that needs to be better. They have created the space on the left hand side for Arston to get forward. There's a balance, right? And hopefully we don't get burned with a ball into that space and having Tim Ream have to chase out wide. But so far, it's been okay for me. It just needs to be a little bit sharper in and around that final third of the field.
Yeah, I agree with both
Tony,
of your sentiments.
They did get over 100 passes, right? 102.
Did they?
102.
Oh, I didn't check. No.
Yeah. So
right.
Costa Rica, 102 passes to the U.S.
Made
is
it.
252. The one thing I would add to what you guys are saying is just being a little sharper on set pieces. I feel like our set pieces are an area of strength, or they should be, because they're going to have to be if we're going to want to go. We're going to have to score some vital set piece goals in the World Cup next summer. Stamp it. That's going to have to happen. So I'd like to see us be a little bit more dynamic and more dangerous on those. Right now, 4 corners, a couple free kicks. We haven't really taken much advantage of that so far. All right, let's talk about subs. So we have some options off the bench, Chuck, and I kind of want to know who you think is going to come in. Who are the first subs you expect off the bench? You got we've seen McGlynn come off the bench in different types of games over the course of Pochettino's era, Nations League as well. You got Quinn Sullivan as a possible. Damian Downs is in the team, so maybe we could see him come off. Brendan Aronson is an option. Brian White. What do you expect to see? I guess I'm naming attacking options primarily.
Yeah. I mean, there's no wingers within the squad, so you're looking at central players. So De La Torre coming off is probably one of the players that I'd be looking at. You know, could we see a Downs and Ajiman paired up together if this score stays the same, given how Costa Rica are barely getting into the attacking half? How many touches do they have in the box? They have just from open play, they only have 5 touches in the opposition's box. So
yeah.
You know how they're playing, and
Right.
and only 19 passes in the opposition half.
Right.
So
right.
you if you can read the game well, you know how they're playing. They're pretty direct. Then you could play with 2 strikers, and I'd like to see Downs and Ajiman, and then you could take off De La Torre.
That would be nice. I do like the 2-striker system, so we'll see what happens as the game progresses in the second half. All right, we're going to take a break before second half kicks off. Keep it here on the Glosso Network and the Glosso America YouTube channel, and we'll join you for the watch along right after that. Welcome back into the Glosso Network and Glosso America's YouTube channel for our live watch along. That is the Call It What You Want live watch along, your favorite average podcast. I'm Jimmy Conrad. This is Charlie Davies and Tony Miola, and we just saw Max Arfsten. Halftime has started. Score the second goal for the U.S. to go up 2-1 against Costa Rica to book their ticket potentially into the semifinal. Will be facing Guatemala, who outlasted Canada today in penalties. What a finish. We're giving Max Arfsten a hard time, deservedly, for some rash decision-making, which led to Costa Rica's first goal to give up a penalty. And now he totally redeems himself right after halftime. We're going to break this down for you right here. Good entry pass from Chris Richards.
Ajimon, good battle.
Yeah, good layoff. Tillman, good layoff. First time finish from Arfsten with his opposite foot, his right foot. Quality finish. How we feeling, Tones?
Yeah, referee, blow the whistle. 2-1. That's it.
End the game.
And look how many numbers they had in the box, too, right? They're getting guys forward.
Whatever.
Everybody's getting in the box. They're loaded up. Wow.
I mean, whatever was said at halftime, more of that, please. Inject it straight into my veins. But
Chris Richards' ball to Tillman.
Awesome.
And the Tillman pass to Ajimon was not on the right side, and Ajimon still used his strength, his long legs as well, to still win it, keep it alive, get it back to Tillman. The right run from Arfsten and well placed. It's a fantastic finish.
So we've scored 2 goals today, and both were by players who scored their first ever goal for the U.S. men's national team. Diego Luna a few minutes before halftime, and Max Arfsten a few minutes after halftime. Congratulations to both of them. That's only going to be a good sign for their confidence and for their level of play, I should say, moving forward for both club and country. But yeah, they're showing another moment where Ajimon can use his physicality to great effect, drawing a free kick here. And that's a good sign. Sebastian Berhalter looking like he's going to step over it. Diego Luna also next to him. Can we be more decisive here? We can put the game away right away, Tones. We get a third one right here. I don't know. I don't see Costa Rica getting back into this at all.
Isn't this about the same spot he served that ball into Richards, right? On the free kick.
Yeah, it's right around the same area for sure. Give or take 5 yards. Or against Saudi Arabia. That was where Chris Richards had.
Saudi Arabia? Yeah. Was it? Is it 5? Yeah. Seems like it's this area, though, right?
Yeah, same. It's around the same area. He put it
a lot of space behind that line. A lot of space behind that line.
In between the penalty spot and the 6-yard box. That's where you want it, with some nice pace on it. And what a save! Oh, Navas!
Oh,
Unbelievable
Navas.
save! Wow, Tillman hurt again. That guy's getting beat up, getting absolutely beat up today. But he's getting up. Get up.
Kaylor Navas this again.
He did. He absolutely did.
This is a good.
Chris
save.
Richards gets on the end of it. What a save!
Yeah, it's actually that one's close to him. Yeah, good reaction. That one's pretty close to him though. And who's that? Vargas pushes it out.
Yeah, Vargas pushes it out. Taking a look there at Alcocer from Costa Rica. Dynamite in the group stages. Been pretty quiet today, but maybe they needed a little Ugalde in front of them. 5th corner for the U.S. What are you saying, Chuck? A little quiet over there.
Yeah, because I'm so far behind. So
you got to click on the other window, no?
Hit that link.
What link?
The one in the chat.
They sent some link. I don't know. You're
chat.
asking me of all people.
I don't see a link.
Scroll up. There it is. Ooh, Ajimon. There's a Tico down right now. See how the referee manages this. So Tyler Adams, very active to drop in between the 2 center back stones.
Yeah. I don't know what Francisco Calvo is arguing about here.
Well, he's always arguing about something.
Yeah,
I've seen him play enough.
Good point.
In MLS as well.
I covered him for a couple of years in Chicago. I should have known better.
He's always got a lot to say. So, Chuck, make sure you open it in a new window.
Yeah, it's not going to work. Not for me. So, I'll be watching delayed here then.
Come on, Chuck. Get up with the times here.
Come on, Chuck. All right, here's another look at Chris Richards getting on the end of it. Does a really nice job of getting in front of Calvo.
Yeah, that was a good move to get in front of
Gallo. Sorry. But, yeah, wow. It's funny what one goal will do right before halftime. Gives you a lot of confidence, changes the way you approach halftime. We come out of that halftime firing. We're all over the Ticos, but we were also all over them, I thought, in the first 10 or 15 minutes of the first half too. Then they got the penalty and everything shifted. Chuck's going to be in his feelings right now because he's 10 seconds behind us.
I'm so angry. And then we're gonna come in a minute after the half has already started.
Chuck, I got to tell you, I'm not nearly as kind as Jimmy is with the reactions. Just saying.
Yeah, I see you going like this. Yeah, I'm like, okay, we scored.
He's just following the lead of his family
because
he can hear him in the other room.
Yeah, now I just caught up with my family.
All right. Good switch to the point of attack. We've seen a lot of that today.
Yes, we have. Huh?
Tough ball. I don't see, with Costa Rica being down now. I know they've been down in 2 games. I should say that. They were down to Suriname 3-2. They were down to Dominican Republic 1-0. They won both of those games. So this is not unfamiliar territory for them. But I feel like we're going to lock this down. We're going to manage this result. This is where our professionalism and quality should really shine through. You can't get emotional and do something rash like we saw from Jacob Schaffelberg earlier with Canada, who had a silly yellow card, which was his second to get a red, and that completely unraveled for Canada after that. They couldn't stay emotionally steady despite that adversity. Matt Freese playing out of pressure, big tones. We love to see it. One of the things I'd like to see is maybe we can look at it throughout here, but when we create numerical advantages, how quickly can we take advantage?
That was
of
good
those
for
situations? You know, because if we play too casual, then we're not really shifting the defense maybe as efficiently as we could. All right, here we go. Oh, Max Arson's feeling it. Chuck, don't worry. You'll see it in like 2 minutes.
I know.
Just poking the bear. Ref will take the foul. No.
Gabriel Dang said Arson could be man of the match after giving up a pen.
I mean, he's got an assist and a goal, right? He the assist to Luna, and he had the goal. So that could be some truth in that. Toads, I'm watching this, and it feels like we're playing with a ton of confidence now. That second goal just a breath of fresh air. Big Tones is on mute, which is our favorite version of him.
Yep, I was waiting for it. I've been waiting for it.
No,
we got it.
I muted the wrong one. I was trying to mute the game here, and because I have it in these 2 windows that Chuck can't do. But this is the fastest we've played. What did I say?
I love that. Taking a dig at Chuck.
Oh no.
Yeah, I like the speed of play here.
Yeah, it's nice. Arson hits one, deflected off the crossbar.
Wow,
almost goes in.
You'll see in a minute, Chuck. You got it.
Oh, yeah.
If you're watching on the Glosso Network, come over to the Glosso America YouTube channel if you want to join the conversation. Jump in the chat, hit like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And let us know how you're feeling about this game. We've turned it around. Down 1-0. We've stormed back with a goal on either side of halftime to go up 2-1. 35 minutes left in this game. We're looking a little bit more threatening in all facets. Lots of confidence. Feel like we're in control. But we were also in this position in the first half, and then it slipped away from us a bit. But it looks like we've regained our footing. All right, looks like a couple subs for the Ticos. Going to try to impact the game. You see that dude massaging his chest? I don't know what that was all about. That's a new move.
Put some of that hot rub on there, right?
Yeah. That's a first.
Vicks Vapor Rub.
Yeah, sure.
Is that what they're calling it these days?
All right, now we're seeing a little bit of a high press from Costa Rica. This could be to our advantage if we're good at playing through it. Should have laid it back. Malik to Luca De La Torre. We lose the ball.
Wesley Dobbs said, dudes are earning spots today. You agree?
I would say that Diego Luna, not that he was, I feel like he was going to make the team, but obviously scoring a goal in a big game helps cement that status. So I don't think he was really in doubt going into this, but this helps continue to help the cause, I should say.
I don't know. We talked about Berhalter a couple of weeks ago. As far as making this roster, I don't know if he's going to make this team, but I'll take his attitude any day of the week, man.
Yeah,
the guy just bust his ass the whole game.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think another one, Chuck, that's been elevated is like Tillman. This is the benefit of not having Christian and Tim and Weston around, is that other players could emerge. And Jedi and Des. I know he hasn't been around for a while, but this has allowed Tillman, I think, to take on some of that responsibility.
Yep.
And he's got 3 goals for us. Should have had a 4th with the pen to hit the post. But I do think that he's done a better job of now positioning himself to potentially be a starter or be in the mix to be a starter, right? To be part of that conversation. And really, as a player, that's all you want, is to be thought of as a potential starter, I think. I was just hoping to make the team back in the day, but
I think he'd be a good piece now.
For sure.
When you're talking about Christian in Weah and McKinney and just him being on the pitch.
Where are you on Ajiman then as our resident number 9? Do you think that he has helped himself? I mean, he's getting the starts, but when other guys are healthy, I still don't see him. I'd probably see him as number 3 or 4. 3?
Yeah, he still has helped himself.
Okay, I just wanted to get that confirmed from a resident number 9.
Yeah, he's helped himself. I mean, Pochettino is playing him. Obviously, he could play Downs, he could play Brian White, but he's giving him the opportunity in this competition, similar to Matt Freese. And I think he's done well with his opportunities. We know where he falls short, but I think he's really worked at his game.
Yeah, and in a year's time, right? I think he's close to signing in the championship.
Yeah,
that'll be able to have him cut his teeth in a different situation. Obviously, if he signs with Derby, they were 19th in the championship last year. They need some goals, so we'll see how that experience goes for him. But if he's playing all the time, that's what matters. Where are you, resident goalkeeper number 1, Big Tones, Matt Freese? He clearly helped his stock, but is he the number 1? Is he? Are we going that far, or we still need to see a little bit more of this tournament before we make any determinations?
Well, I think in general we need to see. He needs a few more international games. Berhalter in the middle of it again as well. The dude just fights, man. He fights the whole game. He's not going to stop. Matt Freese, I wonder what Pochettino and Tony Jimenez are thinking, right? The goalkeeper coach and Poch. I still think that if Matt Turner goes and makes the right move and gets back to top form, I still think he wins the job in the end. But Matt Freese has really done himself a world of good here so far this term. Okay, we know the mistake, we get it, but he sort of seems to have corrected that tonight with just pumping balls long, and maybe that's the narrative that they want to go with.
Yeah.
But Matt Freese is going to be part of this thing, man. No doubt.
No. Well, yeah. I think he's in the top 3 goalkeeper conversation for sure. Right. I mean, it feels kind of weird to say he's booked his ticket. But I think he's obviously there in the conversation. And we just don't have anybody else that's been standing out. And I don't see his form dropping off anytime soon or anything significant. So it's going to be down. It could come down to who's sharper at the goalkeeper position, right? Because you just want the guy that's the hottest. Yeah. You want a guy that has been making the timely save consistently, and that's why we need Matt Turner to find a new situation. And I know he has with Lyon, but obviously they just got relegated to League 2.
Well, Jimmy, let me put it to you this way.
Okay.
Let me put Matt Turner. I want to say the words right because you know people take it. Matt Turner has more work to do now to be the number 1 than he's had in since 2021.
Yeah, that's a great way of saying it. That's a good problem to have. You want competition in every spot.
Of course, yeah.
It's all healthy. Yeah.
I mean, it's so hard to say who's going to be the number one. It's so hard to say who's going to be the striker right now. Who's going to, there's a couple of guys, but I think he's got work to do.
So Chuck, you're going to see it here in a little bit, but Ajiman gets himself in a 1v1 situation and loses the ball. What do you want to see from him in this situation when you see? I mean, for me, I'd almost want to see him slow down to allow his support to join the attack before he tries to make that final decision. But this is the area of the game where I think he needs to improve.
Okay.
You haven't seen it yet?
No.
You're way behind us.
Way behind. All right,
so
here we go.
Okay, yeah. Talk us through this, because this is actually good. I'm setting it up, and now you can talk through it.
Again, he gets out wide in his preferred spot. So he's slow, and it's too slow. It's what I teach my kids now when they're dribbling. You have to move the ball right to left. You can't move the ball straight, because that allows the defender to time his poke, which is exactly what happened, and he won his poke. But if you are moving him right and left as you're dribbling at him, you're forcing him to change his angle every single time. And then you can't run at the same speed it's about changing your pace. So as you're going right and left and moving forward, that's when you got to shift. You got to shift, from 1 to 3 or 2 to 4, or he doesn't have 2 to 5. But if you can off balance the defender and change your speed, you don't have to have blazing speed. But if you're very good at changing your speed, then that's all the affected. That's how you are the most effective player on the dribble. So I have no problem with him making that run, but he didn't commit to it. That's the issue in that situation. The way you commit is by going left. You got to go left there, because you're going inside. That's where all the help is. You go left, you beat them. Right. Now it's stretched. Everybody's running towards goal, and you're faced with a couple of decisions of cutback ball, straight across. Do you wait for a little bit and then pick out a player? But yeah, that's typically where he needs to really grow.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I like that breakdown too. By the way, nice job.
Assuming Downs is healthy, am I the only one that wants to see Downs here get an opportunity?
No, I would love to see Downs.
In some ways, I'd like to see Downs come in for Ajiman straight up, because last time he played, he was partnering Ajiman, and I want to see that. I want to see him run the line by himself, right?
Well, the game has changed too, because we were talking about 1-1.
Right.
Now we have the lead. You don't take off a midfielder to add to play with 2 strikers.
Right.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we got a shout from Michael, who says, as long as Pepe recovers and stays healthy, he will be our starting number 9.
No, what's Tony making that noise for?
You'll see in a second here. Good build-up play. I thought Diego Luna maybe could have left it for De La Torre there, but he didn't. And
one more pass involved in there.
Yeah, I think Ajiman maybe could have given it up. When you see 2 players collapsing on you, he could have just dished it wide and then opened up, took a step back to create another passing lane and get it out of his feet and then hit from there. But okay. Oh man, hey, that's some spicy feet there from Leek Tillman.
Yeah, the chance you're talking about before, Ajiman didn't have a good first touch, is what it came down to.
Tim Ream. Well done. Charlie, click the link. It works.
Don't worry about looking at us anymore, Charlie. Just have the other window up. You just watch the game and talk. All right. Ajiman is pretty good at, even when he doesn't win the first ball, at somehow coming up with the ball again. He still finds it, which ultimately is what happened on the Max Arfson goal. He didn't win the initial ball, but he's just around in a handful that he'll try to win the second ball, then play from there. And there's an art to that. So shout out to Ajiman for that ability, because I've seen it more than once. He'd be tough to play against, I'll be honest. He's just so long.
Yeah, he's a handful.
Yeah. And he's quick and long. And you're like, God damn it, this guy's always just around, poking around, pulling me. That'd be frustrating. I would try to nudge him first, though, before the ball got to him, because his first touch isn't great. So right when the ball is about to get to him, you give him a little dark arts nudge, which isn't a foul because you got it.
Good ball.
Oh, which isn't a foul per se if you do it at the right moment. And then you see if they can hold the ball up. And from what I've seen, he would be good at that.
So this set piece comes close, of course.
Yeah, you're right.
You're correct, Charlie.
You are correct. See, for me, Costa Rica's got no creative options. I haven't seen anybody really get their foot on the ball and
is this
break us
Richards?
down.
It feels like Richards getting on the end of everything.
He is.
It is again. Oh,
you just wish you could get over it a little bit,
Did he chest that one?
I think he headed it.
I didn't see the replay. I thought he chested it. Well,
Man,
Tillman is just
he's just getting crushed.
My man's gonna be in that ice bath for about 3 hours tonight.
Another yellow card for the Ticos. Josimar Alcocer, who scored the winning goal for them against Suriname and Dominican Republic, now is going to be out for the semifinal if the Ticos can find their way back into this game. That's a big loss for them. Yeah, Tillman's getting beat up. Both ankles, his head, his back. The semifinal will be on Wednesday, July 2nd, so not that much rest for Malik Tillman, too, assuming that the U.S. can manage this. Result, they'll play Guatemala after the Guatemalans shocked everyone by beating Canada to make it to the semifinals for the first time in the modern version of the Gold Cup. Canada lost in penalties. They were up 1-0. They were in pretty good control of the game, and then Schaffelberg got his second yellow right before halftime, and then it all fell apart. Guatemala was very good in the second half and found the goal and then won in pens.
That was a full strength Canada side?
Well, outside of Alphonso Davies, who...
Right, but of available players?
Yes.
Eustachio wasn't released. His club wouldn't release him.
Eustachio with Porto?
Yeah.
So
he's fallen out of favor there, though.
Yeah, he's not played well recently.
Bombito was out as well. They missed out.
Yeah, that's a big. Him and Davies are big misses.
Yeah, for that back line.
That's a lot of speed, man.
Yeah. Tillman with some good defending there. Excellent.
Playing both sides of the ball.
So that's what's going to get him into the team, man. Jesse said he was missing half of his team, said Ibis. All right, we're 70 minutes in. No subs as of yet for the U.S. We're still waiting to see who is going to come off the bench. The guys warming up are wearing sweaters, so it must be air conditioned for sure in Minneapolis. They're playing at the Vikings NFL Stadium, which must be a nice change of pace for the heat that some of the other teams have had to play in for the Gold Cup and for the Club World Cup. I thought we'd see a sub at this point, to be honest, but Pochettino really likes this team that he's got out there. Hasn't made too many changes to the lineup. All right. See if Costa Rica can ask any questions at this point. I haven't really heard us in build-up. Only in transition when we make mistakes is where I thought they've been the most dangerous. Got some numbers. At some point, they have to commit going forward. Could be a good opportunity for us. The counterattack. What kind of defending is that? Good save by Matt Freese. No! Come on! The one time. It's the one time that we allow some build-up play. Sorry, Chuck. God, man. It's one time. And then one guy beats two with this. That's terrible defending. Is it Arfston? That's the one knock on Arfston. We saw it in the game against Switzerland as well. Like in 1v1 situations, the guy's just not good enough for me in 1v1 defending. You can't get beat that easy. You just can't. And then where's the cover? If you know you have a defender or teammate,
he drops off. He drops off way too much. Way too much.
But this isn't that. Well, that's too easy.
Delatorre doesn't help him at all, man.
And then we get, man.
Delatorre doesn't take a good angle to get split.
And then our reactions afterwards aren't good either. Like, we're just slow on the reactions. Yeah, just too easy to get split there. I mean, listen, I like Arfsen as a player, especially going forward, but defensively, 1v1, it's just, I mean, Switzerland killed us in that particular area. And now
It's tough.
I mean, you can't, can you, here's another thing too. And this is less on Tim Ream because it could also be a holding midfielder. But if you know you have a teammate that isn't maybe a little vulnerable in certain areas of the game, including being 1v1, that maybe not being the strongest, I think you just need to be a little bit aware of that possibility and maybe be ready for it in a way that Tim wasn't. Or De La Torre, who should be falling into that as well. I mean, you'd want all of our players to be competent in every facet of the game, but that's not how it works. So
who was that? Alonso Martinez?
Yeah.
I'm disappointed.
Yeah, what a season he's having, huh?
Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah.
That's too easy though. And then once Freeze made the save, it seemed like we stopped. Man, it's 2-2 and I'm pissed. Baby, 18 minutes left to go. We still haven't made any subs. Maybe we needed a sub to freshen things up.
Luna's been very quiet this half.
Yeah, he had a couple moments where kind of connecting, Chuck, but nothing too
Not like
he's
the
getting
first half.
not like putting his foot on the ball and like driving the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another
So
sub
who do we
for
got
Costa Rica.
here? You got Tolkien. You got the
Well, you got 2-2. Now you could bring on Downs because the game's even again if you want to go two strikers.
Downs. I don't know if he goes.
just saying you could.
Yeah. Ajiman, yeah.
So you got Sullivan, McGlynn, Brendan Aronson, Brian White. If you're looking for Damien Downs, you could put a Tolkien on for Arfsen as well. So Arfsen's having a hell of a game. He's gotten a goal. He's got an assist. He's given up a penalty, and he got beat 1v1, which led to the second goal. I mean, he's basically ticking every box. Guy's involved. You can say what you want, but he is involved in every single sequence, meaningful sequence in this game. All right, so we got about 74th minute, 16 minutes left. Still waiting for a sub from the U.S. Yeah, Anthony, we're just as surprised as you are. Shot from deep. Matt Freeze, I thought, did pretty well to keep that in, but it looks like they're calling a corner. Costa Rica starting to push, and I don't think we're coping as well as we could, to be honest. Got to manage the game, baby. All right, let's see this shot from distance from Brenes. Looks like it dips right before.
He's got to know where he is. If this is going wide as it seems, he can't give up anything here. He's diving. That's a half a yard wide.
Yeah,
Yeah, you gotta know where you are.
I'm gonna defer to you on that, Big Tones.
Well, he's diving kind of behind. Must see the post in the corner of his eye.
Yeah,
as he's passing it.
All right, first corner kick of the game for the Ticos. There's a lot of guys in the box. Lots, maybe I got like 8 or 9 guys in the 6-yard box. They throw it in there. Good header there from Ajiman to clear it out. And Matt Freeze. Hey, has Tyler Adams had a quiet game for you guys? Has he been pretty quiet?
Yeah, but sometimes
that's what you need from a 6.
Yeah, you want it to be quiet.
Yeah. What a pass from Richards. He's been really good at that line breaking pass. Did it again. You'll see it in like 5 minutes, Chuck. Yes, I want more of that. Oh! I want more of that. Gee. I want more of that. Line breaking pass from Chris Richards. In, back, and through. Ajiman plays the way that everybody's playing the way that they're facing. Couple good entry passes. Good layup by Ajiman. And what a hit by Malik Tillman off the crossbar. God, that would have been the goal of the tournament. Damien Downs talking Mauricio Pochettino. He's coming in. They're talking 2 strikers. I'm seeing a lot of 2 fingers.
Looks like.
two strikers incoming. Who are we going to take off? My guess is, who are you saying? Not Tillman. It's either Luna or Damien Down, or excuse me, or De La Torre.
Oh.
Chuck, I know you love it though, huh? What a sequence.
Yeah.
Good build-up play. Good build-up play. So Luna was involved, got himself involved, and he does make a difference when he's looking to play forward quickly. But I love the layoff by Ajimon and the good third person running from Lake Tillman. Yeah, awesome. That would have been a hell of a goal. Probably goal of the tournament. I'm biased, heavily biased. So first sub of the game for the U.S. is coming. Damian Downs is coming in. Luca De La Torre is the one making way.
Huh.
Got the two fingers up. They're playing two strikers.
What's
You
the
got Bert.
what's the substitution I said?
Did you say that? Downs for De La Torre? You clearly did. Sorry, I wasn't listening.
He was just a few minutes behind when he said it.
Yeah, sorry. I got to catch up to the stream, Chuck. So Downs comes in for De La Torre. We'll see how that shifts the midfield. But maybe more in like a traditional 4-4-2. You could have Tillman and Luna. Obviously, they might not be wide, but that in theory would be where they go. Berhalter and Adams in the middle. All right, set piece out towards the sideline. This one's more like a corner kick, I'd say. That's that type of angle. I think the Berhalter to Chris Richards combination has been quite deadly. I think they've combined 3 or 4 times in this game. We'll see if that continues. But Damien Downs gives us another look. Got to get past the first guy, Sebastian. You've got Ajimon, who's what, 6'4"? You have Damien Downs, who's 6'5". You got Chris Richards, who's what, 6'2", 6'3"? You got to put it in the mixer and let these guys attack it. Got to get past the first guy. The first wave of defenders and or of our teammates. Let these guys dunk at the back post. There you go. Ooh.
Ooh, yeah.
Tones, have you called any NYCFC games? Because Alonso Martinez got 8
Not
goals so
one yet.
far. Yeah.
Yeah, not one, but I have seen him play because they've been playing a couple of teams that I've been studying.
Yeah.
His movement is really good. He's a really good finisher. Yeah, he's having a good year, man.
Yeah. That was a good signing. And now as we edge closer, we got 10 minutes left to go, and it goes straight to penalties, everybody. No extra time if they're tied after these 90 minutes. Do you bring on a Matt Turner potentially for Pens? Resident goalkeeper,
Man,
Tony Viola?
he hasn't played the entire tournament. In more often than not, I'd say no, but I told you that I sent you guys that stat earlier. Just to Matt Freeze is, and I have to go all the way back up to see it.
What,
but
3 out of 16?
3 out of 16, and Matt Turner has saved 11 of 25 penalty kicks, 44%.
Yeah. I would do it then.
That's a big number. 44 is a big number.
I would bring him in. Do you save a sub then for Matt Turner potentially to come in? Gives him a chance to contribute. That's something he's good at.
Yeah, I'm sure that if he gets off that bench somehow, there'll be cameras all over him. We'll know our answer.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so 2-2, 10 minutes left to go. Chuck, how are you feeling about oh man, what you're seeing so far?
I'd say I'm a little nervous.
Berhalter.
A little nervous from what I've seen.
Yeah.
You nervous about this?
Oh, but Costa Rica's feeling pretty comfortable. Look at them combining, getting down the right side. Oh,
Yeah.
little 1-2, 1 pass, give and goes. They're feeling it.
Yeah.
They've grown in confidence.
They're trying cheeky back heels at the top of our box, Chuck. Come on, boys.
Oh.
Who else doesn't have a goal for the U.S.?
Yeah, we need somebody else to
Downs.
score their
Yeah, Downs. Let's get Downs
Downs
first.
first ever.
Yeah, may as well now, right?
Yeah. Holy crap. I could have been trouble. Costa Rica's getting away with a lot of like last follow through tackles here, which ultimately led to their penalty. But the referee's not calling any of them now. All right. This is an opportunity with 10 minutes left. The game's starting to get away from us. Well, we need our leaders to step up and our creative players to step up, put their foot on the ball, and like, let's start to dictate the tempo again. Because right now it's getting away. It's a little sloppy. Got Jack McGlynn. Looks like he's coming on to the field. I wonder who he takes off.
Berhalter, maybe because he has a yellow.
Yeah. Berhalter might be the shout.
Or Ajiman. Go back to one striker.
John Tolkien's coming on.
Tolkien. That should be an easy.
That's a straight swap with Max Arfston, but Jack McGlynn could be. Yeah, I think Berhalter. I think you're right, Chuck. Then just let Tyler man the rest of. Downs with a good shot, top of the box. Probably get done a little more with it, but good to see him get involved.
Tolkien's coming in.
Tolkien is coming in. Tolkien and McGlynn. And we'll see what number is going to be called. Diego Luna is coming off. So Luna's off and Arfston are coming off. Luna looks disappointed.
Does that move Tillman to the left side?
Yeah. All right. So Tolkien. Hey, I just saw my buddy on TV right now. And he just gave the bird on TV. That's nice. Shout out to Zach. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I can't wait to tell him we got him, give him the finger.
Yeah.
On TV. What a beast. All right.
Good first play by Tolkien.
That's right. Good 1v1 defending from Tolkien. Man, that's the play there where Ajiman has to hold that up, huh, Tones? I mean, I know it might be a big ask, but those are the moments where we're under it a little bit. And can you hold the ball up so we can transition and make Costa Rica suffer?
Jimmy, do we know, is Ajiman a penalty kick taker? I don't think it is club he is. So I wonder if you take a guy like that off, if he's not a penalty kick taker, and if you got somebody else on the bench that would think Brendan Aronson potentially, right?
Who else? We have Brian White might be a good penalty taker. If you want to throw him on for pens.
Yeah.
So we've made 3 subs now, so we have 2 remaining.
Keep in mind,
we only have one more window, right? So we have to save one sub window for both penalties.
Tolkien and McGlynn are both penalty kick takers, right? Like they're guys that take free kicks and penalty kicks. You know, Tolkien scored a couple of free kicks last year.
Yeah, good shout.
Yeah. Not that you wouldn't put him in the game anyway at this moment.
Right.
They just, oh boy.
No way.
Oh no. Oh my gosh.
No.
Oh.
Chuck.
Hit in the stomach.
No way.
Chuck, hit the link.
Freeman with a clearance. Gets deflected back in. Wow.
Oh. What?
Wow. He hits that a ton too. Wow. We just survived. We survived. The Ticos are making the most of their opportunities. Here's their second corner kick of the game. That one hit off the post.
Was that Martinez again, huh?
Yeah.
Freeze was frozen.
He's been waiting to say that all Gold Cup, everybody. Yeah, Freeze was frozen.
He freezed on that one.
Holy crap.
You made for me, I thought it was in the back of the net the way you guys
dude. Yeah, I know. We tried to tease you a little bit.
Oh God. I did feel sick to my stomach.
What a hit though.
He hammered that thing.
He really did.
That's
again, though, when we're talking about the opportunities we give up, it's all self-inflicted. These are all really easily correctable mistakes.
Who's that, Freeman,
that one? Yeah, tries to clear it into somebody's stomach, and then it goes to Alonso Martinez, and he makes the most of that opportunity and hits the post.
Freeman's been shaky tonight.
Yeah. He's getting a lot of opportunity to not be shaky. Good entry pass by McGlynn. Go on. Come on, Downs. Oh, what a tackle.
I like downs though, man.
I like the interchange where little in back and through stuff always pumps me up. Once you have that good entry pass, then you can have good supporting options. Tyler Adams is excellent to cover that ground. Slow down the play, turn them around. Don't have to win every ball. You just have to make them play backwards. Now we slow the play down. Costa Rica's looking to steal this one, everybody. They've been knocking on the door. It's a good tackle, though.
I don't know how much of a steal it would be. They've been good this last 20 minutes, man.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Ilyas, what's up? Supporting us from Gambia. We appreciate you.
Yeah, subs.
All right, last 2 subs for the Ticos. Myri and Vander Putin are coming in. Get a little last gasp of energy, last blast of energy, I should say. Alcocer is off. We'll see if this is their good penalty takers. Mora goes off. Myri comes on. All right, another free kick here for the Ticos. Injury time, I'd probably say 3-ish minutes. I don't feel like there's been much to slow the play down.
You mean added time?
Added time, I should say. Sorry. US is playing. Yeah. We've been pretty good on defensive set pieces. So that's nice. Silver linings. All right. 2-2, US Costa Rica. 89th minute. We're guessing maybe 3 minutes of added time. And then it goes straight to penalties. No extra time in the Gold Cup quarterfinals. Costa Rica asking a lot of questions of us. Didn't really have much build-up play until they scored their second goal. Now they're starting to have a little bit more possession in our half. As a reminder, in the first half, they only connected 100 passes to our 250. So they definitely found their way into the game a little bit more. And it's obviously led to, for their perspective, a very good second goal. Not so great for us. Danny Greenwald already getting into prediction mode, saying the U.S. is going to win 6-5 in pens. From your lips to the soccer god's ears. That's what we want. But Navas is in goal for the Ticos. Who Tones, you say he's the best CONCACAF player of all time? Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what I voted him as. Yep. We don't have anyone.
No surprise. It's a goalie.
And then we have no one that's won 3 Champions Leagues. And by the way, 2 of those, he was so important in those 2. So Brian White coming on, I'm guessing this is a penalty kick for Ajiman.
Yeah, I take off Ajiman here. Yeah.
Sub.
Yep, Ajiman off. Brian White on. Did Tolkien get a yellow there for tackling that guy on the sideline?
I don't know. I didn't see it.
All right, so Brian White comes on. My guess is that Tolkien, Brian White, and McGlynn will all be top 5 penalty kick takers. We'll be in the 5. No, I guess the ball went out of bounds. No foul. Okay, cool.
I have my now I got to change. I had my 5 penalty kick takers, but I'm going to change now with White.
Tillman will take one, even though he missed earlier.
Yeah, Tillman. Yep, yeah. I had White, McGlynn, Tolkien, and Arston is who I have.
Got it.
I'd rather Tyler Adams than Arfson.
Well, Arfson's out anyway, so
yeah. I mean, Tyler. Then
Arston, Tolkien, Tyler.
You give Tyler a pen?
Yeah.
All right. I respect it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
make him number 5. Of course, you should. Your best goal. I think your best penalty kick taker should go first.
And I'm sure Berhalter will take a pen.
That's the other one. I crossed him out.
Set pieces.
Yeah, that's true. All your set piece taking guys. Oh, Tillman with a great turn. Was he offside?
Go on.
Oh. Well, he might have been off, though, no? No, they let it play. Deflected out. Corner kick for the U.S. Can we steal it here before we don't have to go to pens? Because pens is a coin flip. Panama lost in pens. Canada lost in pens in the quarterfinals. Shockingly. Found themselves in penalties, and then they lost in set penalties. The U.S. doesn't want to go there because anything can happen. Corner kick here. Can we steal it late? Blake is in the chat saying that penalties is big and an advantage for Costa Rica because they've got Keylor Navas in goal.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
All right. Ball from McGlynn.
Boy, he does
Brian
whip
White.
in a good ball.
Oh, nice little interplay here from Tyler Adams and Brian White. Penalty or foul. Call it, ref. Bastard. Nothing.
Now you're begging.
I'm
You're
fun
begging.
to watch a game with.
Yeah.
In real life, if we weren't doing a watch along, it'd just be this nonstop. Come on, do this, do that. Come on, ref. All right, we got a minute left. I want to see a little, we can have a little urgency playing it forward. We don't necessarily have to go side to side or backwards.
Oh, a minute left.
Oh, there we go. Good entry pass. Now get that baby wide. There we go. Come on, Tolkien. Drop a dime in there. Oh. You got a deflection? Corner? We have neither.
Good job by White, huh?
Yeah, good job. Good ball by Tolkien, too. Put a little extra on that.
He found a little seam and just couldn't.
Yeah.
Whoa.
We're going to pens.
Yeah.
I cannot believe it. I honestly cannot believe we're going to pens with Costa Rica.
You can, though, kind of. No?
Can you imagine Guatemala versus Costa Rica as a semifinal Gold Cup? Your two host nations bounce before the semifinals? Come on.
Yeah, no, it would. Yeah, I know it's not a good look, but.
Not a good look.
But, Chuck, it's not like, I mean, the Trinidad team we played wasn't great. We did what we needed to do. Saudi Arabia, we had a tough time breaking them down. We had our center back scoring a set piece, and we had our center back make a clearance. That game could have been different. And then Haiti could have been different too, right? I mean, so I'm not surprised that we were struggling. Plus, we're not the only team struggling. Canada struggled. Panama struggled. So it's and these other teams are just getting better. But yes, ultimately, I agree with you. We should be in complete control of this. When it got to 2-1, that's where we have to manage the game. Listen, that's why I was pissed at the goal we gave up. It's way too easy. Way too easy. That should never happen. It was like one of the few times that Costa Rica was in our half of the field running at us with some numbers in advance of the ball. Pretty rare. That may be like 3 or 4 times that happened the whole game, and they can't just score on the 3 or 4 times that they get it. That's embarrassing defending and not good enough. So yes, ultimately I agree with you. We should manage the game at 2-1 and see it out. Our confidence after we scored the second was excellent. We just can't maintain that. We can't stretch it. Even when we started the game really well, didn't turn into anything substantial, I should say. And then we give up a penalty because we make a mental error, right? And that's the same thing what happened on the second goal by the same player. So just throwing that out there.
Yeah, at this level, right? You can't give things away like that. You just
no.
You can't.
Too easy.
You just can't.
You can't. I like Arsene too, but it just can't happen. Yeah, Anderson has a good question. Chuck, how tough is it to come on as a late sub and take a penalty if you don't get a lot of touches?
It's tough. It is tough because you didn't any. You're not even properly warm, so typically it's pretty tough coming off the bench, and it's all mental. It is literally all mental.
Yeah. Tell us, why don't we see goalkeepers take pens more? Because I honestly, some of the best penalty kick takers I've ever seen are goalkeepers. Yourself, yeah. Matt Reese was unbelievable.
Dude, while you guys are training down that end of the field sometimes, and then the coach stops and you talk, what do you think the goalkeeper's doing all day? taking penalty kicks on the other side of the field, right? I will venture to guess that goalkeepers in their career take 10 times more penalty kicks than maybe any field player.
Yeah, maybe more than 10 times.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying every goalkeeper I played with should step up and take a pen, but there were a handful that should have been in the top 5 every single time we lined up. And one was Tony Miola, and the other one for sure was Matt Reese.
Yeah, Matt was good with his feet.
Crushable. Crush.
Yeah.
Yeah, he absolutely could just pinpoint a top bins if he wanted on command.
All right. Well, if you're joining us right now on the Golasso Network, we're nervous. And if you're joining us on the Golasso America YouTube channel, nothing's changed. We're nervous. The U.S. now in penalties against Costa Rica in the Gold Cup quarterfinals. And it looks like Mauricio Pochettino looked a little nervous there as well. Andrew says, which 5 should be taking the pens? I'm assuming it's going to be Tillman, White, McGlynn, Downs, and Berhalter. That looks very similar to our list. All 3 of the subs that came out. I don't know about Downs. Downs.
What about Tim Ream?
Tim Ream's a good shout. I think Tolkien would take one too. Anybody that takes set pieces are usually pretty good. And Matt Freese is going to be the goalkeeper, so there was no that would have been decided earlier. But we had talked about Matt Turner potentially coming in because he's very good at saving pens.
And Kaylor Navas is going to be the other goalkeeper.
Yeah, he's really good. That's a psychological advantage I think you have too. Like, damn, Navas is between the sticks. But wait, who's going first? For me, you want to take the first kick.
Have they flipped yet?
I think they did, but I didn't see who was going first.
All right.
I don't know. It looks like maybe Costa Rica because I don't see any Americans making the walk. The long walk.
Yeah, it looks like
Costa Rica's going first. Come on, Matt Freese. Set the tone, baby. Let's get a save early on. Let's get a save. Just need one
save.
Especially early. Put some pressure on him. Oh, yeah. Go touch the ball. Go mess around with the spot. Get into the yes.
Looks like, is that Alonso Martinez stepping up?
Martinez, who scored. No, he didn't score. He assisted the second goal.
Didn't he?
No, they're actually teammates on NYCFC.
Yeah.
You got teammates.
Matt Martinez scored the second goal, didn't he?
I thought Martinez set up the second goal. He split the 2 guys and then played it
buried
across.
it.
Oh, he buried it. Got it. All right, so these 2 know each other pretty well. I assume they've actually probably done this against each other in practice. He probably knows very well which way Alonso Martinez likes to go. Woo, this is a good matchup. And yes,
come on.
Jared Red said he winked at Matt Freese. Alonso Martinez winked at Matt Freese. Here we go. Come on. La 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 la. Come on, Matt Freese. He went down the middle. Goal for Costa Rica. That's probably the right thing to do because Matt Freese knew probably knew which way he was going to go or was going to go down a corner. But he gave him a wink. Gave him a wink.
That's elite mindset right there.
It is. It is
elite.
Yeah, I like him a lot, Alonso Martinez. Yeah, 26 years old. Got 8 goals for NYCFC so far this season. Tyler Adams stepping up first for the U.S.
Let's go, Tyler.
Set the tone. Let's do it. I need a big deep breath. Big deep breath. Relax. Pick your corner. It's only Kaylor Navas. Don't worry. It's only Kaylor Navas. Oh, he did the slow. Oh my! That was too close to my liking, but a goal. A goal for the U.S. He did enough of the Jorginho / Robert Lewandowski pause to make Kaylor Navas stay frozen. And wow, that was still in his wheelhouse though.
This is where the pause works.
Yeah.
You freeze the goalkeeper.
Navas.
That's a yard inside the goal. Oof.
Yeah, that's in a wheelhouse right there.
All right. Ended up in the back of the net.
Yeah.
All right. So here is I believe number 4.
Vargas.
Yeah. It's Vargas. He's the one that should have got a red card on the Tillman play, but he got to continue to play. Juan Pablo Vargas.
Come on.
Plays for Millenarios.
Come on, Freeze.
Center back. Come on, Freeze. Gave up a pen to Tillman. Let's see what he does here. Come on, Freeze. From the American Outlaws. Save! Come on, Matt Freeze. Let's go! Come on, Matt Freeze. You love to see it. You don't let center backs take pens. What are they doing? Come on.
That's a big one.
Atta boy.
That's a big one.
It's a bad PK.
That's a big one.
That's not good. That's why you don't let center backs take. You don't let them take them. Yeah, his feet were fine. Come on,
Atta baby.
Good save.
Yes, feet were good.
Feet were
Very
good.
nice. Well done. Well done.
All right, now we got to make it count. We got to make it count.
You got to follow up with a goal. You have to follow up and miss with a goal.
You have to. And Malik Tillman, who missed the penalty earlier, hit it off the post. So not like a complete miss, didn't get saved. He went to his left, goalkeeper's right. We'll see where he goes this time around. Does he keep it the same? Does he change it? Chuck, what would you do? You hit off the left post. Would you go back to that side?
I think you're going back to the same side.
I'm going down the middle.
I think he's going back
down the middle.
I think he's going back to the same side.
Same side. All right. Oh, he buried it.
Nice.
Come on, Tillman. He went back to the same side. Chuck, you nailed it. No messing around from Tillman. That was some good power on that one. So the U.S. is up 1 after 2 kicks.
Now the pressure is all on Costa Rica.
That's a proper pen, by the way. He hit that ton.
Yeah, that's legit. That penalty kick.
Navas
went the right way and couldn't catch up to it. That's how hard.
That's when you say, no matter if you guess right or you don't, I'm gonna hit this in this corner. You're not gonna stop it.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, same. All right, so one of the subs for Costa Rica, Vander Putin is on.
Oh, he's missing.
You think so? I think he's too nervous.
Yeah, he's got the nerves. All over his face. He got the nerves.
Plays for Alajuelense in Costa Rica. Came on with maybe 5 minutes left to go, probably just for this purpose. He took 2 deep breaths. Come on, Matt Freeze.
Oh my.
It's very similar to Tyler Adams's, where Matt Freeze gets his fingertips on it, but couldn't keep it out.
This was closer. It was
close. It was close.
Yeah, I like what I've seen. So,
that's
if he
not
goes,
a good,
see how
that's not a
far
good
out
penalty,
he went?
by the way. That's
see
not
how
a
that
good
angle? If he takes a little less of an angle, I think he saves that one.
All right, he steps up for the U.S. We have Sebastian Berhol. Got to keep the vibes going.
Sebastian.
Come on, buddy. They're panning to Greg and Sebastian's family, his mom, and his sister.
My God. Imagine being in that position. The butterflies that you have for your child.
Yeah. All right, Sebastian, pick your spot. Oh, he hit it over. He tried to go top corner. Navas picked the right way, and he hit it over. Oh, my. Listen, Costa Rica still. I got 2 more kicks. So we're even after 3 now. Everybody's got 2 out of 3. Navas went the right way. He had that red, and he hit it over. And Greg, very stoic at the top. No reactions. Just being positive. It's the way to go. All right, here we go. We're back to even. This is where we were before. We were down 1-0 in the game. We went up 2-1. Then we made it 2-2. This is just how this game is going. Come on, Matt Freeze.
He's been good so far. He's been really good.
Yeah, he's been steady, picking the right ways.
Right.
Come on.
Who's this? Brenes? Yeah.
Brenes. Jefferson Brenes is in. Plays for Saprissa in Costa Rica. He also came in as a sub. Come on, Matt Freeze.
Somebody's going down the middle here. You
Could you
take
imagine?
a chance.
Did you have the courage of just standing straight up? Oh, he thought he had it. Brenes finds the side netting. Costa Rica now back up. Keylor Navas going back into goal. We'll see who the 4th kicker is for the U.S. Both subs for Costa Rica have come in and scored.
Matt Freeze has been all over everything, man.
So close. He hit that hard. It looked very similar to Malik Tillman's. Good power, side netting. Whew. Okay, who's 4th? Now the pressure's switched, Chuck. We got
Freeman.
Alex Freeman, our 20-year-old, right back, stepping up. I love the responsibility. He wants the responsibility. He's going to step up and be the guy. Chuck doesn't seem to be as confident as me. Come on, Freeman. You got it. It's only Keylor Navas. It's fine. He's only won 3 Champions League trophies. You got this.
Come on, kid.
You got this. Wow, he's staring him down. Take a deep breath, man. Just gotta get that. Oh, he did the pause. What a finish!
Oh,
What a pen! Alex Freeman done it before. Chuck was nervous, but dude, what a pen!
that might be the best pen tonight.
Whoa, the little Lewandowski Jorginho pause too. I was like, okay, that's
Oh
bold.
my! I said this is going.
And he looked at him the whole time.
Oh, he
looked
wasn't
at
even
him
close.
the whole time.
That might have
Very
been the
good
best pen, Chuck.
Oh, baby.
Wow.
That is a tidy finish from a 20-year-old. Wow. Youngest player for us at camp, I believe.
Good on him, man. That's a big spot, man.
Woo! Okay,
of
Francisco
course,
Calvo stepping up, who already
Come
scored
on.
a pen.
Yep.
He went to his right, goalkeeper left on the inside of the post to put Costa Rica up earlier in the game. Does he go
I
to
could
the
see
same
him
place?
going. I could see him going down the middle. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah. He fancies himself.
Yeah.
He's going down the middle. Come on, Matt Freeze. I don't think he's going the same way. That's for sure.
No one's gone down the middle yet.
He's gonna. I could see him being the guy that's gonna try to Panenka. Did you see that Panenka for Guatemala, by the way?
Yeah.
St. Clair?
Ooh.
That was dirty. Okay,
Come on,
here
Matt
we go.
Freeze.
Calvo. Here goes Calvo. Yes! He's standing in the
Yes. What'd I say?
middle. Come on.
What'd
Come
I
on.
say?
You knew it was coming.
Told
Knew
you
he
somebody was doing it. Somebody was going to do it.
He thought he was going to be the guy that did it. Yes, Matt Freeze. Way to stand your ground.
Somebody was going to do it.
Come on. Somebody knew that, knew the information. Oh, baby. Yeah. Go on.
I've seen him go down the middle before. Woo!
That takes some stones, bro.
Matt Freeze
Good. I love
held
it.
his ground. You love to see it.
Love
Okay, who's
it.
fifth for us? Who's fifth? Come on, let's finish this off in real style. All right, who's going to step up and be the guy for us? Finish this off. John Tolkien, baby.
Tolkien.
Just came on as a super. He got about 15, 20 minutes, so he's warmed up. The Tolkien's going to be the guy. Takes the set pieces for Holstein Kiel in the Bundesliga, though they got relegated to Bundesliga 2. But he's got a sweet left foot.
Come on.
JMI.
Come on.
He wasn't taking any smack from Kaylor Navas, huh?
No. Neither was
Let's go.
Freeman.
Come on, J.
All right, here we go. Come on, JMI.
Come on.
Here we go.
Come on.
Top bin.
He's going right.
Here we go. Come on. We got this. Finish him off.
He's gonna go across his body.
Oh!
I knew it. He's going across his body.
What a save by Navas. Wow, he hit that hard. He put it in a good spot, but Navas just read it. This is exactly what happened in the Canada game. They fifth kickers both missed, and then went to 7.
Oh my God.
Navas read that. Oh, dude, he hit that hard. He hit it in his wheelhouse, though. Tones, what are you saying?
Yeah, I mean, look,
Wow, what a save.
that's actually a better save than I thought. It was a little bit higher than his wheelhouse, Jimmy. He's got to get that top hand up.
Wow.
The
Ticos.
Panenka would have been the one there. If you were ever going to do it, that would have been it.
Tolkien with the Panenka would have been unreal. Okay, so we're tied going into extra penalties. Listen, I've been the sixth kicker before. It sucks. You're like, oh, really? We couldn't win in 5, so I got to be the guy. I got to be the guy that steps up. I remember Open Cup in Kansas City. I ended up making mine, but man, that's a really long walk.
Were you that hurt that they didn't put you in the first 5?
All right, Andy Rojas, another sub for
Tony, don't
Costa
do that
Rica. So Andy Rojas, 19 years old. He currently plays for New York Red Bulls' second team, New York Red Bulls 2, from Arellano.
This is that.
19.
Is the city red or blue? Come on.
Yeah!
Yes.
Woo!
Yes! Matt Freeze!
Woo!
You love to see it. Too big of a moment for the 19-year-olds. You know, he was sweating that. Like, who's going to be 6? I don't want to be 6.
Let's go. Let's put this thing away now.
Let's put this away.
Get this thing over with, and let's
Freeze.
start doing a post-game show. We're ready for the post-game show.
We're ready for the post-game show.
We are ready.
We want to do it with some champagne, though, because we're happy, not because we're sad. All right, here we go. Good save by Matt Freeze. Read it like a book. He's been all over all the pens.
He's been all over it.
Only the first one, right? The Martinez, where he rolled them down the middle.
That's right.
By the way, that conversation, I know it's penalty kicks and their specialty. Oh, here we go.
Maybe Downs.
Let's go. I wanted to
Damien
see this
Downs.
kid.
I'm confident.
Let's go, baby.
Come on.
Bury this thing.
Come on,
Bury
Damian
this
Downs.
thing.
Come on, Damian Downs. You got this. You got this.
Come on, baby.
Here we go. Finish this off. Ooh! Yes! The U.S. have done it. They've gotten past Costa Rica. They outlasted them in penalties. Wow, very up and down. Incredible scenes. The U.S. has booked their ticket to the semifinals of the Gold Cup. We'll be facing Guatemala on Wednesday, July 2nd. Big hugs here from El Piojo Miguel Herrera, the coach of Costa Rica, and Mauricio Pochettino. Wow. Unbelievable. And congrats to the U.S. They were going to have to survive a little bit, right? You have to survive before you can thrive. And that's where we are. We're going to take a break here. And when we come back, we're gonna get into our recap because we got a lot to say. That was a crazy game. Don't go anywhere. Hi, hello, and welcome to your favorite Average to Good podcast. Call it what you want. I'm Jimmy Conrad alongside Charlie Davies and Tony Miola, and this is the recap of the U.S.'s very exciting, very crazy penalty kick win over Costa Rica in the quarterfinals of the Gold Cup. We're booking our ticket to play Guatemala in the semifinals, who somehow outlasted Canada in one of the other quarterfinals. Mexico and Honduras, the other semifinal. The Final Four is set, and we are excited about it. Welcome, everybody that's watching us right now on the Golasso Network and the Golasso America YouTube channel. We appreciate you, and everybody listening at home, we appreciate you as well, or wherever you like to get your podcasts of choice. Okay, so Charlie Davies, at halftime, you said that the team had a bit of a 6 out of 10 performance. What are you saying now after the game, after we survived, going up 2-1, didn't manage the game, gave up a goal, a pretty cheap goal to go 2-2, going to pens. Obviously exciting that we did the business there. But what are you saying now out of 10, having some time to digest it after a very exciting penalty kick?
Yeah, 5 out of 10.
You went less.
Yeah. You would go higher?
Explain yourself. No,
Wait.
I wouldn't.
You make it seem like they should get an 8 out of 10 or something.
No, they shouldn't.
Yeah,
I agree with you. They should.
They played worse in the second half. And sure you could say, okay, they won in pens. I can tell you one thing, the player who benefited the most is Matt Freese. Because think about Matt Turner, how he really got going, and that was by saving penalty kicks and the Gold Cup following that Nations League. That's what got him going, and the belief that was established under Berhalter. Now Freese, in a big moment, has come up and saved his team.
3 saves,
and he got a touch on 2 others, right? So yeah. For me, Matt Freese is the star, and the team underperformed in this second half.
What's interesting, Chuck, I agree with you. I think it should be a lower rating overall than how we were feeling at halftime. But there were some really good things that I saw in the second. That's what I think frustrates me the most, is that we saw some good build-up play, a little bit of in, back, and through. I know it wasn't consistent enough for us. We scored a very good goal coming out of halftime. I thought Arfson's goal was really well taken. We saw some other things that were good. But it's just not being sustained over a long period of time that I think gets frustrating. Or then we just shut off. The goal we gave up was unacceptable. And it's Arfson and Luca De La Torre getting beat on the dribble out wide. For everybody that didn't see it, I highly encourage you to go check out the highlights, because this will make this podcast feel a little bit more alive for you having that context. He gets in between those two, gets into the box, has a shot. Matt Freese saves. It goes right back to him, and nobody reacts. They touch it back across in the middle, and then Alonso Martinez scores. And that guy is a very good player. So if you're an NYCFC fan, you're lucky, because I really like his game. But Tones, are you with me and Charlie that there's some good things you want to glom onto, but also we have to look at the reality or the other side of it, which is that we were lacking some consistency in some important areas of the game.
Yeah, I gave a 6 at halftime, and the way they came out, the goal, and a couple minutes after that, a couple of combinations, I was leaning towards a 7, and then all of a sudden it started to drop for me. They gave too much away, too many mistakes. I'm still a 5, 5.5, even 6 if you want, because they end up winning the game in the end, right? But I'm in that area. I'm not too much more than that. A couple guys had some moments tonight. Matt Freese has had his moment now, right? So the question you asked me before about who's the number 1, I gave you an answer that Matt Freese, Matt Turner still has some work to do to get, and I still think that's the case, but Matt Freese got a little bit closer to being the number 1, because it's a big moment, right? It's a moment that Pochettino's not going to forget. It's a moment this group is not going to forget. Freeman, he had his moment in the penalty kick, right? Because he doesn't have a great game, but he steps up, and he's 20 years old. Let's not forget this, right? He's 20 years old. He's playing his 4th international game, has a tough night. He could have taken that into penalty kicks, but no, he buries his penalty kick, and I get it. Penalty kick is a moment, right? But it still takes some stones to step up there when you're not feeling 100% about yourself, right? And then Damian Downs just had his moment, and he's not hardly played the entire tournament. The fact that he stepped up to take it for me is pretty cool, man. Because this is a guy now that we all know, right? We're in these. You're always trying to do something. Look, everyone likes these guys. You're likable, but everyone wants to see something on the field. Like, they want to have something to grab onto. That Damian Downs, I still want to see more of him. I'm in that camp, but that moment for him is pretty cool, and so he's had a moment now. So there's a lot of like positives.
Yeah. I just to continue that theme, you had Diego Luna, who scored his first ever goal for the U.S. You had Max Arfson, who scored his first ever goal for the U.S. He had an assist in this one as well, and he kind of negated that with a couple mistakes defensively, which led to 2 Costa Rica goals. But you're talking about these moments, so something that potentially could build off of. Malik Tillman continues to grow into being a guy that we can trust and to create opportunities consistently and in different ways. He can get on the end of crosses. He can shoot from distance. He can make the final pass. I'm still excited about what Tillman's bringing to the table. I thought Berhalter had a nice, strong game. I love his energy in there. Ajiman had some good moments of holding the ball up. When I start to think, though, about standout performers, Chuck, there's still an element that about game management. And I know this is not isolated to the U.S. We see it all over at the club level. We see it with other national teams. It's one of the hardest things to capture and to teach, right? Because you have to go through it. You have to suffer a little bit to understand how to manage games in different situations. But when we're up at 2-1 in a quarterfinal knockout round game, that should be it. And for a while, we were controlling the flow, and it's like we weren't ready or didn't make the right decisions once Costa Rica started to apply more pressure and to put more players going forward, which ultimately led to their second goal. They finally got some numbers in advanced positions, and we struggled with how to contain it. And that just can't happen, because if it happens in the World Cup next summer, it's going to be a really short run in the World Cup. So if that game management, I know I harp on it a lot for everybody that listens pretty regularly, but we have to figure that part of the game out if we're going to be a team that's going to be a threat and a team people don't want to play against moving forward.
Yeah, well, I look at it as when you're playing against difficult CONCACAF teams, sometimes you play against the Canadas of the world, the Mexicos of the world, teams that have quality players. Sometimes you may feel like the underdog at times, especially in this competition when you don't have a Christian Pulisic, a Timothy Weah, and Weston McKennie. So you say, okay, maybe we got to be more of organized, more focused on defensive shape, and we have to play counter. We have to rely on set pieces. Then it flips when you play teams that you are tactically better than, that you have more quality than, and a Costa Rica team, a Guatemala team, where they're full of fight, they're full of resilience. They're also apt to use the dark arts. You have to figure out ways to win those type of matches, and it's all about being smart in those situations. Like you said, they're going to play a certain way. It's through counters. They're going to try and get a man sent off. They're going to play ugly, reckless, and direct. That's CONCACAF in a lot of matches. So for some guys, you kind of know what to expect, and for some, like a Freeman, for instance, he's learning on the fly. A Patrick Ajiman, a little bit late in his development, he's learning what center backs do to you in CONCACAF, how physical it is. So there's beauty in winning games like this, and there's beauty, obviously, when you outplay a team like a Canada or a Mexico, which we've seen in Nations League. So I look at this game and I go, we're going to get more of that against Guatemala. And then in the final, if you beat Guatemala, and they're obviously flying high right now, they're going to go into the semifinal with nothing to lose. Those teams are very dangerous to play against. If you get by them, then you're playing against the Mexico team where all of a sudden the roles reverse and they are the favorites, right? And the U.S. are back to being underdogs. And I think this team would thrive as being underdogs. At least that's what you would hope for. So I look at this game and I go, there weren't too many people who stand out. Malik Tillman and Matt Freese. Chris Richards, probably those are the three that you go, for sure, they've impressed throughout the competition. And then tonight, I think they took positive steps as well.
All right, let's take a look at the stats. 18 shots for the U.S. versus 7 for the Ticos, 4 shots on target. So we weren't really making the most of those shots. I mean, 18 shots, only 4 on target. 3 on target for the Ticos. 64% possession. We had almost double the amount of passes that Costa Rica had, just to kind of give you a little bit of the story of how the game was going. But again, it's what you do with that possession that matters. We had 9 corner kicks. I thought we could have been a little bit more dangerous on set pieces. We have some very good free kick takers and set piece takers. So there are some areas of improvement. Of course, Mauricio Pochettino and his coaching staff will look at it the same way. For me, it's these little, I look back at the first goal, Tones, right? We had Max Arfsten, the ball was on the other side of the field. Max Arfsten.
Their first goal.
First goal, yeah. So
okay.
he pinches in. He misses the ball that goes up in the cross. And then when he tries to get back into the play, he ends up making a mistake and giving up a penalty. And for me, as much as I really value what he does on the offensive side of the ball, you can't be that vulnerable or that big of a risk for us defensively, because we saw it against Switzerland as well, where he got absolutely eaten up in that particular game out wide in 1v1 situations. It happens again today. He gives up a penalty. For me, like, if we're going to, you got to be able to count on and trust your players to do the job on both sides of the ball. And Max Arfsten is a bit of a, again, I really like his game, but that has to get cut out. Otherwise, honestly, you can't play in the World Cup for us next year. We got to have players that can trust.
He's not playing in that position.
I get that. I mean, Jedi's going to be the guy. I understand, but like even if let's say Jedi's hurt, somebody's going to be hurt that we don't want to be hurt next summer. So I'm just throwing, but I'm using it as an example. I can only talk about the players that are in front of us, Chuck. Right? So.
But don't you think like tonight you can't? I think you have all these peaks and valleys in his game, right? You had some good stuff, then you get some bad stuff, and then some good stuff again, and like that's not going to cut it. And then the attacking side of the field, as much as he gets forward, I still think that the crosses have to be better, right? The precision on the crosses have to be better. You're getting in good positions, and now you got to make them worthwhile.
Yeah. No.
So getting in those positions is one thing, and then being dangerous is another thing. And he's got something to his game. I just don't know if it equals up a year from now to being in this team. Because I still think, obviously we know Anthony Robinson, but I still think you got a Joe Scally who has played at the club level for the national team. Has he played left back at all for us? I'm not quite sure if he's played left back for the national team.
Yeah, and you still got Uruguay in Kansas City. I don't know why I pulled that one out of my
Yeah, okay, there you go. So, I mean, he's got it there, but he's played it at the club level. You got Serginho Dest, who can also play on that side.
Yeah.
If he had to. It's not his best side. So, and we still need to get him fully healthy. So you still have to look at other guys. Does Tolkien now, run this entire year in Europe and see how he turns out? It's hard. Chuck, I'm with you. Richards, Malik Tillman for sure, Tyler Adams. Those are the guys. Matt Freese. Those are the guys. And Tyler was quiet tonight, but when I'm thinking about guys that have opportunities for next year, and sort of Malik Tillman's the one that's kind of starting to lock himself in. But then you look at it and go, who do you take out at some point? Like, who's the guy you replace if you're going to put him in as the starter? That's Pochettino's decision. But yeah, not a lot of great performances tonight, but a gritty performance. And you know what? If you're going to be a good team on the nights where it's not perfect and you give things away, you give teams and you find ways to win, that's what good teams do in the end. That's a big lesson.
I want to mention, we're showing a photo here of Matt Freese and in penalties. He's now made a name for himself, and 3 saves in penalties is incredible. So hats off to him. We were actually saying,
how quickly we forget Matt Turner. Look how quickly.
Yeah.
One match, and everyone's talking about the PK maestro in Matt Freese, right?
Yeah, I know you're right.
But Chuck, the reality is that we've only remembered Matt Turner over the last couple of years because nobody's pushed him.
Yeah.
Like if he was anywhere else where he was playing as little as he was playing, and someone came in and was, kicking the doors down, then he wouldn't have been in the game, right? He used the national team to get games. That doesn't happen in many places around the world. Yeah. So my point earlier was that this is the biggest fight Matt Turner has had since he's gotten to the national team.
Yeah. And right now he's not winning that fight. Thanks to one Matt Freese. So I did want to give a shout out to Malik Tillman. I mentioned it during the game, but I'll bring it up again. I think he continues to demonstrate how vital he is to our attack. And I think that's because he can hurt other teams in a lot of different ways, getting on the end of crosses, making the final pass, looking to combine, hitting from distance. And I think it's been nice. He's taken advantage of not having some of our bigger personalities and names in the team, so he could really step up and take on that responsibility. I wanted to throw that out there. I agree with you guys on that. I thought Chris Richards, if we want to get into some of the nuance and subtleties, some of his entry passes to break the lines, excellent. That's going to help us unlock any team in the world. So I want to see more of that going forward. And Chuck, I wanted to come to you on 4 players actually that weren't on your naughty list or killed it list, but I still think could argue we're solid. You had Luca De La Torre, Diego Luna, Sebastian Berhalter, and Patrick Agyemang. Where do you think they help themselves out, or do you feel like, just tell me your feelings on these 4 particular players.
I think Diego Luna, obviously, he still got the goal. I think he was active in the first half. He played well, but in the second half he went quiet, and I think that's when we started to see the U.S. regress a little bit because they got the early goal. And then it was almost, the mentality is protect the lead. The mentality is don't make mistakes. And then Costa Rica started to feed off of that, and they were pushing forward. They're getting numbers forward. And ultimately, you didn't see Luna in the second half. Berhalter, I thought he was pretty solid. That early yellow card, I think, changed the way he played as well. Because then all of a sudden, in the back of your mind, you're like, I don't want to be Jacob Schaffelberg, right? I think his game changed a little bit. He played on the safe side, and that's to be expected when you get a yellow. De La Torre, in the first half, he was pretty active. Again, second half went quiet. And I figured if they were going to add a striker, that's the one player you're going to take off because of how he plays. So if you want somebody to really change the way that you're playing to give you a little bit more of an advantage up top, if you're adding a striker, De La Torre makes sense, and that's exactly who they took off. Who was the fourth one? Freeman? Ajman. He for me kind of stayed the same. He didn't regress. He definitely didn't progress. Hold up play is pretty good, solid, but not elite. His 1v1 still needs work dribbling at players. I mean, that's one of those things where you take him aside and you work with him for 30 minutes on just
Every
your
day.
particular the shape at which you attack a defender. Some of the tells when they're on their heels. That you can just push it and go when they're flat-footed. Getting them off balance. Some of those things it comes with work, but right now he needs to. Definitely, obviously doesn't have the time to do it when you're in a competition like this, but that's the one thing he needs to sharpen to make him a little bit more dynamic is when the ball's at his feet to run at defenders and can beat them off the dribble.
Yeah, I think one of the fun conversations that I have percolating in my brain is who's going to be the partner for Tyler Adams in the World Cup next year, or partners, I should say. I mean, you got McKinney, you got Musa, you got Tessman, you got Cardoso, you got De La Torre, you got Berhalter, Musa. I mean, you got a whole bunch of guys, right?
Cardoso took a big step back.
He did. And there's no question about that.
Obviously, you can't cut him out if he's at Atletico Madrid. But again, he's got to play at Atletico Madrid. I know. It's one thing to get to Atletico Madrid, which is a phenomenal achievement. It's another thing to play, and it's another thing to play consistently. So much so that you are in contention to get a place in the U.S. Men's National Team World Cup starting 11. Yeah. Because for me, Weston McKennie is, I mean, he's playing at Juve. He's gonna be in the starting 11, and then you figure out what does that third piece look like. If Yunus Musa's not playing, he's not starting in the World Cup. It's just figuring out what is the right mix. And then Gio Reyna, it feels like he's just staying put in a position where he's not going to play at all.
I know.
So he might not even make the World Cup roster, period.
I know.
He probably most likely won't if he stays at Dortmund. That gives
we got an audition. The audition is wide open for midfield. And I think that there's a lot more players that are asking questions about how they can be involved and they're performing at a level where you're like, all right, I can see something in that. All right, we're going to take our first pick and call what you want. When we come back, we have the very awesome Christina Uncle, who's going to break it all down for us in terms of CONCACAF and officiating. So this should be a fun conversation. Do not go anywhere. Welcome back to your favorite Average to Good podcast. Call it what you want. I'm Conrad Dino alongside Chuck Wagon and Big Tones. And, part of our charm here on the show is that even though we are average to good, we like to have good to great guests on the podcast. And so we are absolutely thrilled to have the one and only Christina Uncle, who just dominates in all things refereeing and officiating on the show. Christina, great to see you as always.
Oh my God. Hi, team. Look at me. Like, I had to get up to come do this, but thanks for having me on.
Yes.
Is this my first ever show on Call It What You Want?
I mean, we make dreams come true here, Christina, so we appreciate you being on. Okay,
Thanks.
Okay, we want to get to the big talking point from the U.S. men's national team perspective. It's the foul on Malik Tillman from Vargas. They call the penalty. They look at it. The tackle is late. It's at the ankle. Studs are showing, but we get the pen after video review, but he only gets a yellow when we're all like, what? That looks like a red for sure. What are we even doing with our lives?
Yeah. So your guys' show is called Call It What You Want. So I'm going to call it how it is. All right. Like, that's a missed incident. I'm sorry. That's a missed incident. You're gracious by saying ankle. I'm going to say Achilles on it. I remember first time I saw the, what's it called? Basically what we would call like that point, right? The point of contact. I was like, woof, ball gone. Ball gone. That's another consideration, right? Ball is gone. There's not going to ever be a play on that ball. It's gone. So yes, you're right. Proper recommendation from the VAR to recommend down for a penalty because there was no penalty called on the play. Penalties given. That's correct. But at that point, even if your VAR doesn't recommend it down for a red card, you're looking at it already from a referee perspective, saying point of contact, speed, how late was the tackle, endangering the safety of the player, right? From essentially what kind of point of contact. And should have been a red card.
Is there anything, Christina, and thanks for jumping on here. Is there anything that makes it not a red card? Does it fit any of the, you mentioned the ones that fit the criteria of a red card, but on the other side, did it fit any of that criteria?
Yeah, the only one, and I mean, I get to argue both sides when I'm in my own brain, so imagine that. But, as Tillman's like basically pretty much running off the field, right? Distributes the ball, he's taking steps towards off the field. You can potentially make an argument that, his momentum is taking him away. So that full contact isn't as if his foot was like still, like it was set in place. It was going against the inertia of Vargas's contact. That's probably the closest argument you can possibly make, saying the momentum would have pushed in the other way. And sometimes we make that argument when it's kind of a bit of a scissor tackle, was a person's foot above air, right? And then you get studs in the back of the Achilles, but then the leg moves up. So you're not really kind of stuck on the ground. I mean, that's really the best counter argument. I'll put my lawyer hat on. I always have to argue in the counter argument. It's not a winning argument. Sometimes you know that. So.
Chuck's on mute.
Try unmuting yourself, Tony. I mean, Chuck.
He's wearing a hat.
Yeah,
back in the day, so
I was going to say, I could see how that could be deemed as just reckless because it didn't maybe quite tick the box of excessive force. But I was curious what you thought of the rest of the way the match was handled. There were some yellows. It did get contentious. Do you think he did a good job of still keeping it under control, or do you think things bubbled over a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we've covered, right, CONCACAF. I've been part of refereeing games in CONCACAF, and and on CBS Sports we cover UEFA as well, right? So there is a level of, it might sound weird, but there's a level of expectation from a cultural standpoint of football, right? What is kind of, and I mean, darn it, Charlie, you and Tony, you guys played in CONCACAF as well too, right? That we understand that there's going to be some things just from a management style that you have to accept. Go watch CONMEBOL, right? There's things that are, I think it was our CBS Sports, and they're like, oh, CONCACAF is one of the hardest. I would argue CONMEBOL is one of the hardest, right, to play in from a physicality standpoint. And then next is the Turkish league, but that's another statement.
I feel like I'm sitting in a CONCACAF climate right now because I have no air conditioning. I am sweltering here.
No.
Oh, yeah, I'm eating bananas. I'm staying hydrated. I got water. It's dire moments here. Dire.
Send someone that stretcher, right? You guys always jump up when we send the stretchers out right away. I think overall the tempo, what he needed to call, you're gonna have to manage this type of a game, particularly, right, with the history that's associated, right, with Costa Rica and the United States, cards aren't going to mean anything in the first half. And I know that sounds rough, right? Unless it's 100% misconduct that you have to enforce it. You got to manage these games. CONCACAF is a game about management style. Center referee, we kind of laugh and I turn on the game to see, and I'm like, we've all refereed with that man before, right? So he kind of knows that style of what was needed. So ultimately it was okay. I was surprised, though, he did not come out with a red card on that play with Tillman.
Yeah, I'm still a little I would be even more bitter about it, I guess, Christina, had we ended up losing that game to the Ticos. Also, I want to give you a shout out. You're the president and GM of the Tampa Bay Sun, and your club just won the first ever USL Women's Super League Championship in extra time over Fort Lauderdale United 2 weeks ago.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
You getting
That
some
is
Thanks,
fantastic. Man,
it's still very surreal, right? The referee world, when I started doing the TV stuff to talk about refereeing, is like, you went to the dark side. And now the referee world's like, you went to like the really dark side by like team administration, launching a pro team. And to you guys know, it's not every year you're rewarded with all your hard work, all your effort, you know, from the front of house to selling tickets. I say we have 2 championship teams, front of house and the sporting. I've learned a lot. This has been a tough year. I still have an eye twitch from the hosting a semifinal, whipping around and doing a sellout in a final in 3 to 4 days. My team sold that out, which was awesome. And then, you know, in traditional style, we did a Tampa Bay boat parade. So you think of the Lightning and the Bucks and throwing the trophy. I mean, we practiced throwing that Super League trophy. The cup with the handle's way too big. But yeah, thanks, boys. Appreciate it. So
that's
no,
great.
of course, well deserved, and we know how much time and effort you've put into it to make it happen. So, just rewards. Okay, so when you walk into a CONCACAF game, let's do a compare and contrast, Christina. So let's say you're going to go to an MLS game, or you're going to college, you're going to go. I mean, do you know going into a CONCACAF game that it's going to get chippy at some point? So what do you? Maybe if you're helping direct the referees, how are you helping them manage the emotion of a game that you know is going to get highly emotional?
Your first thing is you're refereeing when no one's watching. And what you mean by that is like you are addressing things right out of the gate when the cameras aren't on you, right? So probably that extra love touch, right? When it's easily going out for a goal kick, right? So you're not blowing the whistle, you're not making a big deal out of it, right? The ball's getting set for that goal kick, you're swinging by that player, you say, hey, knock that stuff off. We're gonna use the word stuff. You know, it's just little things here and there to kind of say, I'm watching, I see it. Particularly here because the players are smart. They know what they're doing, right? They know that it's the dark arts. So where a lot of those situations that occur that you have to be that 110% on top of is everything in front of the benches. Anything that happens in front of the benches. I think CONCACAF a couple years ago named it the free zone. I hate that name, so don't use that. But like I just call it a hotspot, right? So you're going to blow up. You're going to come in with the studs and tackle, right? You're going to take off someone's like foot off of that. And I forgot which game it was. Sorry. I'm between Club World Cup and CONCACAF Gold Cup and everything in between. I'm losing track of which games I'm watching. But like that one is where your whistle's louder. You're coming in. Like you're basically catching everyone's attention to be like, holy smokes, we got a ref on that game. And that's what we mean by essentially over managing in particular plays and then having that quiet conversation. If you're a black and white referee, meaning point and foul beat, point, like, and do that stuff, you're gonna lose control of the game. And that's where a lot of the new CONCACAF referees who are in it, especially when I see them get their first assignment, I'm like, all right, this is gonna be a rough one because they haven't gotten that bite, right? They haven't been bitten, they haven't had the dark arts played against them. And sadly, the only way you learn as a referee is through experience. And sometimes you got to get burned a couple of times to figure out how to referee CONCACAF properly.
So this is actually a pretty experienced referee, right? Walter Lopez, and we see him quite a bit in CONCACAF games. So what happens from here? So is there a committee that might be ringing him up and say, Walter, we need to chat. Like, you got this one wrong. Or is this like you just leave it be?
No, they never leave it be, no matter how senior you are. I mean, I think when you come in with a bit more experience, like Walter Lopez, right, from Guatemala, I believe, a fellow Guatemalan, go Guatemala today for winning. Sorry, I'm half Guatemalan, so I'm going to shout out for that. Yeah, let's go. It still always gets addressed. You just have a little bit more credibility to say, right? And one would think that would go against you because you should be able to get this, but there's going to be a little bit more leniency just for the fact that when you talk about the further assignments and I wouldn't say he's off the bucket for any future assignments. I mean, with that kind of a play, the fact that the United States won, I know that sounds crazy, but when it comes into their mindsets of assignments, like that would, because the US won, that wouldn't now count him out of the final, right? Or a third place game, so long as the US isn't in it. They would still consider him because of his years of experience, and the likelihood of him getting those decisions incorrect is far less than somebody who's kind of younger and coming in. I mean, he would put himself now on the bubble of not getting an assignment for sure, but it's not even a phone call. It's like you're stepping off that tunnel, or you're stepping into that tunnel into your locker room, and you already got a referee, match observer. You already got a number of texts, and you kind of already know. So it's not a good feeling, I can tell you that.
I want to give a shout out to Natalie Simon, actually, as she refereed the Revolution game yesterday. I mean, it was fiery. Colorado was coming in, hitting. They were up 3-0, and then the Revs came back to win tie at 3-3. It was an incredible game, and I thought she was phenomenal. I wanted to get your take on the second yellow for Schaffelberg today. Do you think that was a clear yellow? It seemed like it was, knowing that he's already in yellow, that it kind of was that gray area. Yeah, that was a gray area.
Yeah, like when we kind of say, can you manage your way out of that situation, right? Like that, not everyone's going to be sitting there screaming and saying like you completely got that wrong. I mean, the referee is fully justified in that yellow. I mean, the recommendations are for that yellow because of the profile of these games and the tournament implication side of it. He would be considered as having missed it from a referee observer standpoint if he did not give that yellow. I know that sounds a little bit crazy, but right, tournament versus league and season is a little bit different for how things are perceived. So he would have been chalked up as having a missed incident if he had not given that yellow, because they would have considered it 100% misconduct on that. But I can feel you guys, but it doesn't mean that the answer would be different in the sense of knowing what someone's assessment score would have been after that if he had not given it. And you're right. Shout out to Nat. Her and I, we used to referee in Miami together. So we got our stripes out in Miami area when we were refereeing.
Well, Christina, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate all your insights into refereeing and what goes into it, and your expert analysis on different types of plays. And of course, that was a red card against Malik Tillman. That helps justify how we're feeling about it as well. All right, we're going to take our next break and call what you want. When we come back, we're going to break down what happened in some of the other games in the quarterfinals.
Our last break. It's our last break.
Okay, it's our last break. Fine. Don't go anywhere, everybody. right, welcome back in to Call It What You Want, the stretch run that is. I'm Jimmy Conrad alongside Tony Miola and Charlie Davies. And we are down to our final four of the Gold Cup. The semifinals are set. Both games will be happening on July 2nd. That is next Wednesday. We, of course, will be having another live watch along. We're playing Guatemala in St. Louis. That game will kick off at 7 p.m. Eastern. And the other other semifinal will be Mexico versus Honduras. That'll kick off at 10 p.m. Eastern. That'll be here in the Bay Area. Maybe I'll go. No, I can't go because I'm doing a watch along for the U.S. against Guatemala. That should be a lot of fun. But let's talk about Honduras first because they were down to Panama, 1-0 Panama. We're all over them in this game. Ishmael Diaz got a penalty right before halftime. And then not Chucky Lozano, but Choco Lozano scored for Honduras in the 82nd minute to make it 1-1. And Honduras outlasted Panama in pens to go through. Then Canada, Guatemala. That was earlier today. Okay, that was a crazy game. Canada were up 1-0. Jacob Schaffelberg got a place for Nashville in MLS, got 2 yellow cards before half. Guatemala turned it around, got a late goal, and won in penalties, very similar to the Honduras thing. And the Mexico were excellent against Saudi Arabia, won that game 2-0, though it took them into the second half to score those 2 goals. But I thought Mexico, probably the best team in the tournament so far. And then as we discussed already, the U.S. had to go to pens to beat Costa Rica. We had Francisco Calvo scored on a penalty. We scored a goal on either side of halftime. Diego Luna got his first ever goal for the U.S., and Max Arson got his first ever goal, and then we let it slip. Alonso Martinez made it 2-2, but we survived in pens due to Matt Freese. Thank you, Matt Freese, and Damian Downs scored the winner. Congrats to him for stepping up and taking on that responsibility and doing the business. We appreciate you. Final four is set. So, Big Tones, I'm coming to you first. Who do you like to get to the final? What is in the stars? We always want U.S. Mexico, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen. I wanted Canada in the semis so we could get some revenge for the Nations League.
Yeah, but they didn't get there, Jimmy.
They didn't get there.
Too soon, Tony.
Too soon.
Oh,
Hey, by the way, Jesse Marsh is joining the show. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Did I miss something? Yeah, look, it's easy to say Mexico, U.S., right? But if you watch Guatemala today, okay, they win a man. They had a man up for quite a while in that game, but they played some really good stuff, and they played at a really high tempo, about as high tempo as we've seen them play for a while. And then Honduras last night, what they did to Panama, they just were resilient, right? And then they get the penalty kicks, and Menjivar, their goalkeeper, does really, really well. I think I'm still going to pick Mexico, U.S., but I just don't think it's going to be so straightforward. Like, I think there's some twists and turns in there someplace, but I think they get through.
Who has a better chance of the upset, Guatemala or Honduras?
Well, I think Guatemala, because Mexico is a lot closer to their full team than we are, right?
Yeah,
so
they've had some shaky performances.
Yeah, I mean they got whooped for a little bit. Was it Canada, right? Was that's a 6-0 against Canada? Was it the Honduras? So. Yeah, but I still think, Mexico's light years ahead of them, and anything can happen on night. But Guatemala, what I saw today was pretty impressive. They stuck it to Canada, and Canada, we can say that they don't have their full team. They're missing half their team, whatever. They got the job done today. So there's emotion in that team. I don't know if you saw just like when right at the end of the game, the last penalty kick, I mean, those guys they put everything into that. It means so much to them. I dare I say it means more to them than it does to the U.S. and Mexico.
Yeah. First time ever in the Gold Cup semifinals, Chuck, for Guatemala. And you wonder if they maybe spent too much emotion there. I mean, we're going to have a preview for this game on Tuesday, so come back and join us for that here on the Glosso America YouTube channel. We go live at 10 a.m. Eastern. But just to kind of get ahead of it, I mean, will they have enough time to turn that around emotionally? I mean, are you just going to ride that momentum? I don't know. I think that could be an area where the U.S. could exploit it. Yeah, who knows?
Good thing you asked me, because I will not be on that Tuesday 10 a.m. podcast, as I will be coaching at my camp this week.
Nice. Can we sign up? You and Big Tones still need
yes. Yeah. So I have goalkeepers at my camp. I need Tones. You know what?
Get no invite.
What I think is this team is going to be playing with house money. They're playing to play with freedom. They're obviously going to still play with that intensity, the desire to inspire their country. You could see exactly what it meant to the supporters, what it meant to the team. Those are teams that are really dangerous to play. It's tough to break their spirit.
Yeah.
And you either have to make them chase the game and give them no sniffs, and then punish them when they do open up, or score enough goals that you break their will. And so those are the two ways to really get at this Guatemala side. They do have vulnerabilities. They lack pace. I mean, that was evident in this game against Canada, but Canada neutralized themselves with the red card with Schaffelberg.
Right.
So can they use pace? Can they, generate some opportunities from running at this back line, playing balls in behind, stretching the back line? That's how you really get after this Guatemala side.
Do you think that Costa Rica gave somewhat of a blueprint for Guatemala? And Chuck, I'll come right back to you since you won't be with us on Tuesday. But do you feel like they could take some elements of what Costa Rica did, which was just kind of absorb, and you're going to get your chances?
They don't need
the US
to.
Won't give you a chance. No?
They don't. They've already done what they have their own blueprint. They beat Canada. Okay. Canada were favorites over us. So at the end of the day, they're going to go out there and go, okay, we saw exactly what Costa Rica did. It's basically pretty similar to how we played to get by Canada. Now, we probably saw some weaknesses too, and some gaps and vulnerabilities running at Max Arfson. If he starts, he's a little shaky at defending. He gives too much space. So you can either run at him, or you can slowly go at him with your head up, waiting for opportunities because he drops off. So those are things that you can watch and say, okay, the U.S. may drop off a little bit. They don't close down the space quick enough. So we will have opportunities on the counter and set pieces.
All right, yeah, it's gonna be another difficult game. And to what Chuck was saying, Tones, when we were at 2-1, I'm gonna go back to this a lot. When we were at 2-1 against Costa Rica, there was 10 minutes after that goal where we're driving the game, and that's kind of the moment where can we find a third? Remember, we had a free kick. We talked about it when we were doing the watch along. If we could get another goal right now, game's dead. And we just couldn't find that. And it's I know it's hard to sustain that type of control over a full half, right? We could argue even when a team is getting their butts kicked, they're still going to have maybe 5-ish minutes, 10 minutes where they're going to have a little bit of the flow of the game. That's just kind of how it works out. But it feels like we couldn't take advantage of our advantage or the momentum or the confidence that we had. And then slowly Costa Rica, as they had to commit more numbers, which is what we talked about. Actually, right before the goal got scored, their second goal, Costa Rica, we talked about, well, this could be a good opportunity. It was like 10 seconds before they dribbled through us. This could be a good opportunity for us to hit them in the counter. And then boom, 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 they score and make it 2-2. And well, that conversation's out the window. This team, I think, has demonstrated that we need to get better at knowing when to go and when to slow it down. And I mean, maybe these are too big of asks for a team that's still relatively new, right? And with a lot of inexperience. Yeah. But this is kind of where I think we need to go and where we need to be if we're going to be competitive next summer.
You touched it on the end. If you didn't say it, I was going to say that. I just wonder, like, what are we asking of this group, right? We come into the tournament saying, we're missing all of these players and these guys are young and we don't have national team experience. And then we're asking them to do all of the things that you're mentioning, right? Which is part of what a good team does. But like, what's the ask of this group? That I think, and everyone will have a different ask. Everyone will have a different. I came in saying that that we always go into the Gold Cup thinking about winning the Gold Cup. And then some, you guys asked me, I think we did it here, or maybe we did it on the morning show, Morning Footy. I said, if we run into Canada or Mexico, that's kind of the end of the line, right? They've gotten to that point. They kind of exceeded that right now by getting to this point, but there's still some work to do. But I'm not going to expect them to kill every game off. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be a problem. They're going to have to fight back and do something. You know what I mean? There's like, if you're telling me that this is Anthony Robinson and Christian Pulisic and Sergino Dest and blah, 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 and the rest of them, I'm like, yeah, they got to dominate this game for 90 minutes, right? Like, yeah, of course they do. But I guess we all just have a different maybe expectation, if you will.
Yeah, I just feel like this group's been together now for
You're
a few
muted,
weeks,
Chuck.
right?
My,
For a few
my,
weeks.
my
So
point is they have enough
what's your
talent.
ask? They have more than enough talent.
This
Yeah.
team has more than enough talent. When you said perfectly, I think you perfectly said it. If they come up against Canada or Mexico, they're the underdogs. If you beat them, great. But are you expected to beat them? No. Now Canada is out. You're playing Guatemala. You're expected to beat Guatemala. I don't care if they beat Canada. I don't care if they beat Mexico. You're expected to beat them.
I agree with you.
You're expected to beat Trinidad. You're expected to beat Haiti. You're expected to beat Saudi Arabia, especially given that was the Saudi Arabians BC team, right? And then in this game, you're expected to win. Costa Rica, they're tough. The Ticos have always been tough. That's the mentality. And Keller Navas made it much closer. Will always make it much closer than it probably should be. But at the same time, there's enough talent in this group to get to the final. That's for damn sure. And there shouldn't be anything. There should be nothing less than that, in my opinion.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Expectation is to get to the final. Now they've put themselves in a position to be in a final.
Yeah. One thing I'll leave everybody with my expectations, and I've seen it throughout the tournament. So my expectations have now been raised. I loved our collective team pressure against Trinidad. Now, whatever you want to say about Trinidad is fair. They weren't good, but I saw elements of it. I'm like, okay, cool. Can we replicate that against Saudi Arabia and then Haiti and now against Costa Rica? And can we do it against Guatemala and whoever we hopefully play against in the final? We need to see more of that. I want to see more of it consistently. And then we had some really good build-up play today. I don't want to take away some of the really good sequences that we put together. Now, can we see more of that? And can it lead to even more dangerous chances? Can we stay on the front foot more? Can we manage the game more? I've seen enough of that. Both Chuck and Tone said that, okay, we do have enough talent. We've demonstrated that. Now, how do we put that together over a longer period of time that allows us to control and manage games, whether we have the ball or not? And that's where my expectations are. And that'll help us identify who we can trust when we name our World Cup roster, right? So those are all the components and things that I have in terms of my expectations. Personally, yes, I want to win, but for me, the results are secondary to if we're making good decisions on both sides of the ball, the results are going to take care of themselves. And so consistent decisions. And that's what I want to see more of. And that's it. I'm going to call it a show. Chuck is tapping out. He's super tired.
I've been tapped out. I'm dehydrated. I feel like I'm in the desert. You guys want to keep dragging it on. Let's talk for another hour.
Right, we're calling it a show. Thank you so much for hanging out with us in the Gloss.
I need an
IV.
IV. Tony, give me an IV.
Any podcast platform you listen to us, come back and join us on Tuesday, 10 a.m. Eastern. We'll break down all the games of semifinals, give you a preview. Should be a lot of fun.
Everybody in the chat said, "I looks like I played."
Later, everybody. Wow.